Hey everyone, it's Zander, and welcome to Survivor Series 2023 live reactions. We are here, another pay-per-view, another month, the final watch-along from this location, the very temporary location, as I've called it in the past. We are here. I'm excited. I hope everyone else is excited. I'm really looking forward to this stream, this show. Survivor Series was so much fun last year. You know, the environment I was in last year, being in my the embodiment of the joke in my mother's basement, made it a little less of a great watch along, all things considered, due to some interruptions that were out of my hand, including but not limited to my mother, God love her, I love her, my mother showing up in the background of the stream to talk to me while she was not sober is the words I will use for YouTube. But it is Survivor Series time. My wife probably has a good idea of what I mean by my mom not being sober, knowing my mom doesn't drink alcohol.
I mean, the polite way to phrase it while still referring to the state would be inebriated.
That was the word I couldn't think of. My inebriated mother.
It's the word for not sober, essentially.
Yeah.
Under the influence of, any state-altering substance, which technically does include caffeine, because caffeine does alter your state of mind.
Yeah. Alright, so I will also be having my dinner while we watch Survivor Series. I'll have a couple little announcements to kick us off here as well. State of the channel stuff. As we are, we are now 3 days away from NXT returning to the channel, which is super exciting. I'm so excited for it. I hope everyone's excited for it. I know the return of NXT is something we've waited a long time for on the channel. I'm gonna get these announcements put into the StreamYard real quick before I actually announce anything. So let's get all of these imported real quick. Go ahead and get a few things out of the StreamYard just to make sure that I've got the announcement space. I should, no problem, right? Yeah, I should be able to, no problem. Yeah, we're good. All right, cool. So, I got a few announcements to make tonight. One is about the next installment in the Retro series, which is going to be the next Retro pay-per-view since it's not a weekly thing anymore. And the other has to do with the World Cup. Don't click away, please don't. Even if you're not a member, you're going to want to hear this. Because this does involve things to do with not members as well. So, whoops, okay, I hit my 100 limit on StreamYard. Let me get rid of a couple things. We can get rid of headaches. We haven't used that in a long time. We can get rid of Walu. We'll keep Waluya because that's something that I use as an intermission occasionally. Let's see. We'll get rid of No One Will Survive. We'll get rid of the old show intros. And that should free us up to do these announcements. Okay. So, let's do these announcements real quick. No, the state of the channel thing's nothing bad. It's just kind of what I was calling it, was state of the channel. Nothing's going away, obviously. Just NXT's taking the Tuesday slot, which, NXT will join Raw and SmackDown as an early access thing for members, starting next week. Not this week, because the first episode of NXT is going to be a premiere, so I'm not gonna have the first episode of NXT be early access yet. The next 2 weeks of NXT have been recorded. I was on a fucking roll today. My wife walked out the door at 9:30, something like that, right? I don't think she's listening. I said, you walked out the door at like 9:30, 9:40-ish this morning? You were out the door, I hit record. You were out the door, I hit record, and with the exception of about 45 minutes that I actually sat and just chatted in the premiere, I recorded until about 6 o'clock, then I gave myself an hour to relax. And I ended up completing the next week and a half worth of videos, which is unheard of. So G Money asks, what's the next pay-per-view on Universe? We're going to talk about that in just a minute, actually. So, what do you guys want to announce? The thing to do with the World Cup or the next retro pay-per-view? I'm going to announce both, but let's see what people want to hear first. Thank you, Zach, for covering that in chat. I'm also going to take a quick bite of my pizza here because I have not eaten in a few hours. Oh, Women's War Games is going to start the show. That's going to be fun. All right, so because I forget there's like a solid 60-second delay between me talking and you all hearing it, we'll just go in order, which is going to be World Cup, then next retro pay-per-view. How many matches are on SummerSlam? I'll get to that in a minute. So, this is the big thing for the World Cup, and this is the thing I've been waiting to announce. If you are a member, of course, this is not going to change anything for you, but if you are not a member, I will announce right now, for the first time, I can finally announce that 2 weeks from tomorrow, Sunday, December 10th, 2023, the World Cup Finals are going to premiere for free on the channel. All the preliminaries of the World Cup are member exclusive, but the finals, which will see the final matchup of the World Cup, which I can't spoil, obviously, as well as 3 other matches that have nothing to do with the World Cup. They are exhibition matches, if you will, and we'll get to 2 of those in just a moment, are going to all air for free as a premiere, because with the implications of the winner of the World Cup getting a world title match, I didn't want to lock a big story. I didn't want to lock a big story beat of the finals of the World Cup leading to a world title match for one of the shows behind a paywall. I mean, because at this point, with the exception, I mean, looking at the final 8 in the World Cup, everyone's involved in one of the 3 big shows, and then EC3 is a free agent. So it's not really spoilers to say that, you know, it would either be someone getting a world title match at SummerSlam, All In, or something else if Ray went with something else, or Bound for Glory. And those first 2 preliminary matches I can announce right now are that IWGP Intercontinental Champion Kazuchika Okada will make his first LS11 appearance since G1 Supercard when he defends the IWGP Intercontinental title against Impact's Chris Sabin. The other preliminary matchup I can announce is a huge one for many of the fans. It is a big interpromotional 8-man tag team matchup. The 8-man duo of Bullet Club's Kenta, Shane Haste, David Finlay, and Hikuleu take on the 4-man team of Intercontinental Champion Seth Rollins, International Champion Buddy Matthews, Nathan Frazier, and Lexis King. That is a massive 8-man tag team matchup going down as an exhibition at the World Cup Finals. That will be the first time Rollins has shared a ring with all of those men at the same time. That'll be the first time that he has been surrounded by that many former followers of his from the Messiah era all at once. So that is the big World Cup related announcement. I'm gonna grab my pizza slice here for another bite real quick. So that is a massive, massive World Cup related announcement. But up next, I am going to announce the next retro pay-per-view and the next date for that as well. So give me a quick second to eat some of this pizza. So Pierre says, huge matches, will there be more? Yes, there will be one more, and it will be a Ring of Honor world title match that I can announce at a later date. I'm going to finish this piece of pizza real quick. I'm going to cover my mouth so you don't have to watch me eat it.
You can also just turn your face cam off when you eat.
I mean,
That way you're not having to cover your mouth when you eat.
yeah, then they're staring at a picture of me dressed as Jack Sparrow.
Okay, well, what's easier for you, though?
With the sounds of me chewing in the background. It's just some weird ASMR with me dressed as Jack Sparrow in the foreground. True, people might pay good money for that.
are you? I need the pizza box. Oh, potato.
Okay, I'm good now. Had ranch in my beard, though. Okay, so the retro pay-per-view. Many are wondering when the next retro pay-per-view is going to be, now that the retro series is done being a weekly thing. Well, you don't have to wait long, because next Saturday, December 2nd, we are doing our next retro pay-per-view, and our next pay-per-view in the retro timeline is going to be an immediate follow-up on the last retro pay-per-view we did outside of the 2004 series. That's very true, Pierre. The next retro pay-per-view, I already announced this on our Instagram as well. The next retro pay-per-view we do is going to air next weekend, which means I better get to work on it. And it's going to be... Hold on, do I not have the thumbnail? Let me grab the thumbnail. Where is the thumbnail? I know I made it. There it is. The next retro pay-per-view, 7 days from today, December 2nd, 2023, is going to be an immediate follow-up on our 4-year anniversary show, and we're going to be doing Royal Rumble 2014. One of the most controversial Royal Rumbles in history. What are the matches on that show? Well, on that show, we are going to be seeing Cody Rhodes and Goldust defend the WWE Tag Team titles in a 3-on-2 handicap match against 3MB. CM Punk defends his World Heavyweight title that he won at TLC 2013 against the returning Batista. Brock Lesnar takes on the Authority's monster, the Demon Kane. Of course, the WWE title will be on the line as Randy Orton defends against Christian. And the main event of the show, obviously, will be the 30-man Royal Rumble match. There are the names that are currently announced for it heading into the show. The rest will be surprises. So Zach asks, are we stuck in 2014 for a while? We are not. The next show that will come after Royal Rumble 2014 will not be from 2014. And that is the most I will say there. No, it will not. It will also not be from 2015. You're going the wrong direction. That was the last one, so no.
No, you said 2014.
Yes, but the last one we did was 2013, so.
You told me I was going in the wrong direction.
And you were. That's all I will say there, though.
2012.
Nope. Stop asking. You're starting to sound like the commenters. So yeah, that's gonna be our first dip into 2014 for a little while. And then we're not going to go back to 2014 for a little bit. Probably next thing we'll come back to will be when we inevitably do WrestleMania 30, which will happen one day, just not, not immediately. I need some time before I'm ready to do a WrestleMania because, holy shit, WrestleMania is so much work. So much work. Pierre got it right on the head. He says 2010. Pierre and Zach actually just got it right on the head within one guess. Yes, and I will do an actual official announcement at the end of SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, Rumble 2014 next week. The next retro pay-per-view we will do after that will be SummerSlam 2010, Team Cena versus the Nexus. So that will be our next retro show after we finish the Rumble 2014. I've got my drink for tonight ready to go. I'm gonna crack it open at the top of the show at 8. The pre-show is going on right now. We always start a little ways through the pre-show to try and get a leg up on the competition, if you will, on those other guys that are out there streaming. Shocked and Regal one. That was a Ray idea, actually. I don't remember what the idea I had was going in. I know my original idea was that Orton just retained the title against someone and we set the timeline back on track with Triple H winning it down the road. And that way Orton got at least a little bit of time with the gold before Triple H just beat him for it. But yeah, no, Ray pushed the idea of Regal winning it, and so yeah, the only real nexus point there is that I think Triple H Batista ultimately will happen at WrestleMania. But, Regal should have been a world champion. I stand by that. And there was a explicit reason why the Senate's the first British WWE champion never left my mouth at the end of that matchup, and you'll see that later on down the road. I'm almost positive of it. But I'm really excited. We got a big week ahead of us. NXT. I just need to make an intro for NXT. I've got an idea for what I want the NXT intro to be. I'm gonna mute my computer for just a moment here so you all can't hear it while I make sure it's the right thing. But I'm gonna give you guys a little sample of what I think I might be using as the NXT intro theme. Make sure I'm clicking the right thing. Yeah. Hold on, let me turn it down. Make sure I'm. Okay, yeah, I can unmute my computer now. So here's a little like 5-second sample of what I think, as long as I can avoid getting a copyright claim, because it's a mashup. Those kind of ride the thin line of copyright. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's why I'm only going to play a few seconds so the stream can stay monetized. But here's a little preview of what I might be using for the NXT intro. Which is a mashup of Roar of the Crowd and Across the Nation. What I still think are the best NXT theme, and then possibly the best Raw theme. I still stand by Burn It to the Ground by Nickelback, but that's just me. You know, at some point in your life, you gotta accept that Nickelback is actually pretty great. I don't like that look you're giving me, dear.
I'm not giving you
The look you're not giving in my direction.
You made some choice words.
Nickelback fucking slaps, and I'm tired of the Nickelback slander, okay? Nickelback is great, and I stand by it.
You need to quit looking at his photographs, dude.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Let's see, Domino's, because I sat in their drive-through for a few extra minutes with none of them noticing me, gave me some free pepperoni stuffed cheese bread. So we're gonna do a little taste test of it here. Not sponsored, by the way. So if it sucks, I'll say it sucks. But hey, Domino's, I mean, I get you most streams, so. Okay, that one didn't have much pepperoni to it.
Too much pepperoni would be a calzone, not bread.
Well, calzones are great, so.
Okay, well, I'm saying we're not advertising this
Okay, so upon that one had a little more pepperoni to it. It's a lot like a calzone. It's not bad. I definitely prefer the bacon jalapeno bread, but that's just me. It's not bad. It's not my favorite. I'll snack on it throughout the week just before it goes bad, so that we're not wasting the food. But it definitely wouldn't be my first pick. Not bad though. But yeah, so I'm gonna work on NXT this intro probably, and I'll probably take like 10 minutes to work on it tomorrow at some point in the day, probably in the evening. That's usually when I work on videos on Sundays, because I like to spend the majority of the day with my wife. Zach says, my childhood GMs were Eric Bischoff and Teddy Long, but I only remember when Vince became GM of Raw. So I started watching right when GMs got phased out. Technically, Vicky Guerrero and Brad Maddox were GMs, but they both got fired within the first 3 weeks of me watching or something like that, so. And even then, they didn't really make matches. In fact, I don't remember ever seeing Brad Maddox do anything as GM other than get beat up by Kane and then fired and challenge Big E for the NXT title on an episode of NXT in 2013. So, yeah, Early Access Raw will go up tomorrow morning. I gotta set it to upload, so it might be a little late. Depends on what time I drag my ass out of bed in the morning. Who knows? Who knows with me on Sunday mornings? It can be as early as 8 or as late as 11. You never know with me. We are 9 minutes away from the start of the show. Yeah, we got a big week ahead on the channel. What all do we got going on this week? Let's see. What do we got this week? Raw this week's gonna be a lot of fun. I know that much. This week on Raw, you're gonna find out Miz's partner in the SummerSlam 4-way. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up the video without spoiling anything. Let's see. So Finn Balor will face Dominic Mysterio. We'll find out Miz's partner. Karrion Kross is going to be in action. Uncle Howdy is going to explain why the Wyatt Six attacked Jay. There's going to be someone returning in the women's division. We'll have an announcement regarding Evolution. Rhea Ripley is going to defend the U.S. title. And it's going to be a Big Trucks main event with Bronson Reed versus Gunther. So that's your Raw preview with that coming up in Early Access tomorrow and for everyone on Monday. And then NXT this week is going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I got to make sure I've got the intro made and everything. But, you know, we got a fun week with NXT returning this week and Rumble next weekend. And then next week we've got, let's see, let's see. Let me see here. NXT and Rumble 14 this week. Next week you'll get in 2 weeks on the 9th and 10th, you get Impact Heroes Welcome and the World Cup Finals. The 16th, you get SummerSlam. The 23rd, you get All in London. That's going to be Ray's thing, because I ain't doing a video on Christmas. And then the following week, you'll get Evolution and Bound for Glory. It's a stacked rest of the year. I'm pretty excited about it. I hope everyone else is as well. I think I already know who it is because the website spoiled it with the factions and teams. Oh, shit, did it? Oh, no. Did I accidentally spoil it? Hold on. Zach, don't put it in chat, please. Let me look. I may have. Same way I spoiled the rest of the hardcore titles lifespan. Let's see. Oh, no, I did. Whoops. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was pretty obvious. So yeah, NXT Early Access will be on Mondays starting next week, not starting this Monday. Whoops, I did not realize that was on the website. So yeah, that does spoil it just a little bit. Oops. I did not expect it. So many of our fans actually look at the website. It shocks me because so few look at the Google Docs, but I think it's because the website's easier to navigate, probably? I don't know, is it? All right, let's see. So for those that didn't see, there actually was a pretty sizable update to ls11universe.com this morning as well. I'll share that real quick. All right, here we go. So here's your pretty sizable update. Nothing new on news and announcements. Well, it's a new picture of me and Ray. That got updated this week. Nothing new in news and announcements. I've probably got to actually start announcing stuff on here again. Last time I did was almost 2 months ago now, so whoops, sorry about that. Rosters, you can see the 2004 roster is no more. A few of them have been moved to other parts. Essentially people who you'll probably see again. So like the Bashams, you're never going to see again, for example. Small update with people like Bobby Roode will be a good example. Achievements are now bullet pointed down here, which I think makes it a little bit easier to look at and read instead of it all being jumbled together. And it's kind of ranked in order of importance. I need to move the Intercontinental title up on him. It's supposed to be world titles, singles titles, tag titles, other, like Rumble wins and stuff. So you can see, like, let's see, for example, here, who's moved to Legends and retired since we finished it. Hardcore Holly's here because he's retired, for example. Let's see, Rikishi is here. Rob Van Dam's here because he's a legend. I wouldn't say you'll never see him again, though. Let's see. Shawn Michaels is in here now, recognized as a former WWE champion. He should be a World Heavyweight champion as well, so that's on me. Triple H now has Intercontinental champion on there. Hell yeah. Wade Barrett's on here because he started doing stuff in the Bad News Tour, as is William Regal. But then in the free agency, there's a couple people who are actually still actively wrestling nowadays that were in the Retro Series, like Charlie Haas, Chris Masters, Chavo Guerrero Jr. Believe it or not, Chavo is still having matches in 2023. Did not know that until the other day when Matt Cardona tweeted about it. Let's see. Who else got moved? Just to show off a few. Paul London, who's in GCW right now, I've heard. Ryback's going to officially have to move to retired if CM Punk shows up tonight. If not, then maybe Ryback will make an appearance in Impact or something in LS. I'm kidding. I'm mostly kidding. I'm kidding. But only a little bit. Just some. Alright, let's see. Another big one, New Japan now has actual roster portraits you'll see here in a second. I've updated these to have an actual background to them. What else? WWE, I think a lot of you guys saw last week. NXT is now officially on here with guys like Tozawa. Some new faces coming to the roster as well. Ava Raine. Let's see, who else is new to the roster? Ava Raine is the first one, and then you got to go down a little bit to find the next new member. Anope and Blade, Fallon Henley, just to name a few here. You can see we've got a pretty solid roster now, all the way down. And then, some history. This is the big update. I'm afraid to click on this. The big update here is, first of all, I've resized these to all be the same for WWE titles. I'm working on it for the rest. NXT titles are now on the... Excuse me. NXT titles are on here now. Adam Cole, Pete Dunne, Walter, AJ Styles, Pete Dunne again. And you'll see it does say early 2024 because it's going to be January before we crown the first champions. Obviously, the NXT women's tag titles don't have championship history yet because there's not been any champions. But all of these have their history now, just to show it off real quick. All like 4 people who held this are on here. 5. Excuse me, 5, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, how about that? All 6 people held this. All like 8 that held this, I think. Something like that. Something like that. And then the very small collection of 4 or 5 teams that held these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Including this kind of awkward one nowadays, because Ray never lets me live this one down. But NXT titles are on here now. I know this says World Television title, and it's still the never open weight. That's because there's not a good PNG of the television title yet. Ring of Honor. And then there's the retired titles here. The TBS title's not actually on there yet. I'm working on that. We got the World Tag titles, and these all go to the same page, actually. So it starts with RVD and Booker T, Flair and Batista, Booker T and Scott Steiner. Divas title, it's only got 2 people on here right now because this is the most we've seen. I think we all know how... This title is going to pretty much have the same history as real life, unless I have any moments of inspiration. We got the European title from its short-lived run in 2022. The Hardcore title. I'm not going to go all the way down on this. I spent a solid chunk of Thanksgiving night on this, though. It does go all the way to when the title gets retired next week. If you want to spoil that for yourselves, you're welcome to. So yeah, that's the big website updates for the weekend. I've been working hard on it. Let's see. Yeah, I'd agree. It was kind of obvious. Yeah, I think the only thing that made it a little obvious, that made it a little not so obvious, was that I, at one point, had said, um, all right, it is now 8, which means I'm going to crack open my drink. But yeah, no, I did make it kind of obvious. I think the only thing that would have made it a little questionable if that's who it was going to be, outside of the graphic being there, is the fact that I said at WrestleMania, and we're never going to have to see him again. But then he's grown on me in an annoying way. In a way of, I hate that he's so good at this. There we go. When Nikki returns at Money in the Bank, I thought it was going to be someone else. I'm sure you thought it was going to be the other person in that title history. That's the most I'll say there. No, it's not this week. Next week. So not tomorrow. Ray says maybe I'll grace you all with my presence tonight. See if you do, Ray. We'll see if you do. I'm also going to be chowing down on some delicious pizza during the opening of the stream here. That being said, even though Miz's partner is pretty obvious, I don't think LA Knight is super obvious. I don't think it's super obvious. I think it's, if you think about it for 10 seconds, you'll figure it out, but it's not super obvious. It's like, oh, Nikki, yay. Well, love her or hate her, she did hold the title longer than anyone, so it made sense for her and Tiffany to eventually cross paths. Who's your guess, Zach? I'm willing to hear. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or not. You'll have to wait another 7, 8 days to find out. But Ray says I just posted in Discord. I did see your post. The way Tony Khan is booking the Continental Classic is stupid. It's clear at this point the man doesn't actually watch New Japan. I don't watch AEW anymore, so I watch the pay-per-views. That's it. And even then, I don't spend money on the pay-per-views anymore. So Zach says he has history within both TNA and NWA. Chris Masters. That is a solid guess, given Masters is going to be in NXT in the next couple weeks. It's a very solid guess. I know there's been some rumors that he might actually return as well. That was a big part of my choice to put him in the tournament. So Eddie Kingston's defending his belt in every match he's in. Pierre says, I'll admit, I don't know why Lethal's in the tournament. I don't know why that waste of space is in the tournament either. It should be Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett should win the whole thing. All right, let's do this. Survivor Series 4 games. All right, I'm going to have one last piece of pizza, and then I'm going to put the box away in the next break between matches. Pierre, my response to you is both. Why not both? Okay, I'm back. We're good. And of course the camera. There we go. Fixed itself too. Yeah, Ray, the camera was off for a reason. It was off because I was eating. I didn't want people to have to watch me chewing my pizza. And so I'd pipe up occasionally if I had something to say, but that was it. Yeah, no, like I do agree. It's like why is it's called the Continental Classic? Why are so many of them from America? It's like I understand. Excuse me. I understand. I announced a World Cup where a quarter of the competitors were American, but we're going into the quarterfinals and two are left. I also don't know why the camera does what it does here, but let's see if I can balance it back out here.
I will say continental implies one continent, not the entire globe.
Anyways, come on now, work with me, not against me here, camera. Work with me, not against me, damn it. Camera, what do I pay you for? The camera's not a paid actor, clearly. This camera's goal, this camera's goal is to make me look as bad as possible, and I'm convinced of it. With how often it does this crap. And I don't know if it's like it finds something else to try and make the focus on or what. And it's like I've tried adjusting the focus automatically, but it just doesn't like to usually. But yep, so for those that aren't members and want to know this week's World Cup matches, because Zach's talking about how exciting they are, they're very exciting. When the quarterfinals were in round 4 this week, we've got Mexico's Bandito against Ireland's Finn Balor, US's EC3 against Scotland's Joe Hendry, United States' John Mox against Austria's Gunther. In the main event of this week's episode, Canada's Kenny Omega against Japan's Kota Ibushi, which has actually already been recorded. This is the earliest in the week I've ever recorded the World Cup. I don't know how soon it's going to come out, but it'll be out in the next couple days. And then the winner of Omega Ibushi will face the winner of Balor Bandito, and the winner of Hendry EC3 will face the winner of Mox Gunther. And the winner of those will face off in 2 weeks. Ray says, in regards to your webcam focusing on something else, I'll say the famous quote, "It's Britney, bitch." I've never thought about it. She could be the reason it doesn't focus on me. It could be trying to focus on her. But her face isn't in the frame, is the thing. So it's not recognizing another face. Can any of the World Cup matches be match of the year? I don't know if I'm gonna promote any member only matches as match of the year. The finals might, if it's good. I do like that all of Damage Control have Asuka masks on. That's pretty cool. I feel like Damage Control should get the win here, but they're not going to. I feel like Shotzi is here to take the pin, as much as I like her. Also, of course, I didn't, Mox and Jay was a great World Cup match. Gunther Ishii was also a really good one. There's been a lot of good ones. Typically, if you see me plug in a second controller, it means, yeah, we did change the final today, actually. We changed the final back to my original pitch for the final, funny enough. We'll talk about that in the near future, but because there's only 2 weeks left in the World Cup, but it is pretty crazy that the World Cup's coming to an end. Oh yeah. This past week, Cardona returned to Impact. That's exciting. It was exciting, yeah. Cardona and Hendry are going to main event Heroes Welcome, and Joe Hendry is going to make Samoa Joe wait until night of to find out his opponent. So, 2 weeks from today, you'll find out who Samoa Joe's opponent is going to be in Scotland, which is going to be really fun. Which I didn't even realize Heroes Welcome was coming up this quick. I don't. Impact is the only show I haven't taped in the last couple days, and it's because I've got a bunch of Impact mods that I need to install before I do anything. So it's going to be Bayley and Becky starting. Yeah, the Indie God is now back in Impact. He's got 3 titles right now, and that's assuming he's not going to win any more. None of his belts will be on the line against Joe Hendry, for those wondering. Cardona has been one of the most fun characters to book, and I am really glad that, if you told me 5 years ago that Zack Ryder was going to be one of the most important people in wrestling in the year 2023, I would not have believed you, as much as I loved him. Like, come April, it'll be 5 years since he was last a champion in WWE, and even then, that was more about Hawkins than it was about him. It's, there's a lot of why is Chelsea Green trending right now? What happened? I'm scared to ever ask what happened whenever I see stuff. Doesn't look like there's anything going on. Also, for those that are wondering, do I think the return happens tonight? No. No, it's not happening. Um, Zack Ryder holding a New Japan belt. Yeah, that's the weirdest part, I think. And I think the even weirder part about Cardona being the current New Japan Television Champion in LS11 is that it wasn't my idea. So Bayley and Becky are starting it. Did they announce who has the advantage? I cannot remember. Was it the faces? I assume since it's a fan vote, then the faces would have the advantage. There's no news on here about wait. But there is no news on where he's at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Oh, you mean Phil? If it happens, it happens. That's where we're at now. And for those wondering, I got back into figure collecting starting this week. I don't know if I can reach it from here or not. Almost got it. Almost there. I got it. If gaming says watch along my ass. What do you want me to? You want me to put it on the screen, get the channel taken down? That's not how it works, pal. Anyway. See, Bailey and Asuka beat Becky and Charlotte. Oh, whoever got the advantage loses. Not always. Let's see. Ray says I just had this idea. Uh, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I feel like there's. I swear I don't watch. I don't go back and watch old shows pretty much ever. It's just not my thing. It's harder for me to rewatch something knowing who wins it. That's why you guys watching the premieres with me is the only reason I can rewatch those shows after I have made them. But I swear, one thing I've noticed with War Games is that first 5 minutes is so long every time. Okay, the babyfaces do have the advantage. I thought so, given it was like a whole fan vote thing. People seem to forget Punk is 5 years away from retirement at most. Yeah. I signed into the wrong YouTube account, really. I wonder how far off Dakota Kai is from being good to go, given she's been getting more and more involved lately with stuff. Also, like, I feel like I feel like unless Damage Control wins here tonight. Okay, here we go. The 5 minutes are finally up. These first 5 minutes and the time between people getting in War Games, I feel like they kayfabe a little. They're like, it's 5 minutes and then it's 3 minutes. It's like I don't know if I believe that. More like three if we're being realistic, and now if you're Xander. Um, like everyone's like, oh, Xander hates CM Punk so much. Like, yeah, I know I've played that up a lot. Um, I play that up a lot, and there was a period of time where I truly could not stand him, but now I just don't care. I just simply don't care anymore. So Shotzi's entered now, or she's getting a bunch of weapons because she's crazy. She's crazy. She's insane. Which, holy God, that when they let her be genuine in promos like she was with Charlotte backstage last night, that's good. When she's doing the weird ass Matt Hardy laugh and like going, oh, I can't wait for the carnage. It's just, it's like, who fucking cares? Um, let's see. Xander isn't angry. He's just disappointed. Pretty much. Thinking Damage Control win the War Games and Team Cody winning the main event. Yeah, probably. Very likely. I wouldn't mind if we still got a Damian Priest cash in after the main event. Like he purposely doesn't take any big moves the whole match. He takes the Randy Orton route of avoiding the big moves to then cash in. I don't think it'll happen. It's wishful thinking. I'm just kind of tired of Seth with the title. It's been a lot of the same with him. The Nakamura stuff was fun, but I don't buy him not selling the back is what's getting me. It's like we're supposed to believe that you have an injured back and like, oh, your back could give out at any moment, but then you're just like going and keeping on after 2 seconds. It's 5 minutes for the first person, three for the. Yeah, I know that, but even still, that 5 minutes and then that 3 minutes just feels so long. No matter what, no matter how good the match is, like the stuff going on right now is interesting. I'm not a big fan of the tug of war over a kendo stick, but it is what it is. Also, I do agree with Ray. Not every War Games match needs weapons. This one doesn't feel that personal, all things considered. It just feels like, oh, we needed a women's War Games match. It's like, I don't know. I also, I guess, I haven't really paid as much attention as I thought I had to the story so far, but I don't know. Also, this kind of advertising where they have just the advertised partner going around the LEDs around the arena, that's fine. The Ruffles logo going around is not that distracting. Now, Ray versus Dom in a heated father versus son match with a Cinnamon Toast Crunch mascot dancing outside the ring. That's where I draw the line on it being a little bad. And then the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match is where I just groan and say, really? You're in a two rings, surrounded by a cage. You already have enough gimmicks in the match already. Yeah, I agree. I think I get why I'm also not enjoying Seth's reign. A, he's a babyface, and that's not his strong suit. B, he's been there feuding with people who never got their moment in the sun. Finn, Drew, Shinsuke. Yeah, exactly. It's like Seth's had his moment in the sun 3 or 4 times now. Mania 31, Mania 39, SummerSlam 2019, Night of Champions this year. And here comes Io. So Io's been in every women's War Games, hasn't she? They said this is her 5th. The first one was in 2019, I believe, where it was Team Ripley against Team Baszler. And it was that was the one where Dakota turned on Tegan. It was 2-on-4 the whole match. He's having the same feud over and over. Yeah, he really is. That's my big issue with Rollins right now. But yeah, 2019 was Io's first, and that was where it was Io, Bianca, Shotzi, or not Shotzi, Io, Bianca, Shayna, and I don't remember who the 4th person was. Against, it was supposed to be against Rhea, Candice LeRae, Tegan Knox, and someone else, but Dakota took someone else out and then took out Tegan. 2020, I know she was in the one where it was Team Ripley, or really it was Team Shotzi against Team Candice. And then 21, it was NXT Black and Gold against NXT 2.0. It was Toxic Attraction and Dakota against Io, Zoe, Raquel, and Cora. So it was really just Team Toxic against the baby faces. And then last year. So Io's won most. I believe she's 50-50 in War Games, sounds right. Won't recognition match with Seth where he wins clean, attacks him after the build, a second match, more personal match. Yeah, it is the same feud over and over, you're right. I also, maybe I'm just talking too fast, and that's a big part of why the time's moving so slowly. I don't know. I talk fast, it's what I do. I tried to slow it down on commentary a little bit when it's a match that doesn't need me to talk at 100 miles an hour, but I am so still a heel I might enjoy because the Judgment Day is different as Finn. Dom should hate him, but Damian and Rhea should be fine with him. Yeah, and yeah, Judgment Day, not the other guy. Not the 5th most important member of the group. Not the 6th most important member of this 5-person group, because Drew is technically with them right now. I've had so many affectionate names for that guy. Mick Don't Google Me, Mick Don't Look Me Up, Mick What's His Face, Mick I'm Tired of This Gimmick, Mick Fuckface, and today, Can Go Mick Fuck Himself was my favorite one I think I've ever done. We see Nakamura tonight, then we know something's going to happen. It's just going to be like AJ Styles or something. Apparently it's like the creative team don't know. Apparently like the only people that know are Nakamura, Triple H, and like a couple other people or something. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if it's that or if it's that just nobody really knows how they're going to do it. Bianca's in now. You know who I wish would be clear because he could feud with Seth and you could incorporate real history? You're gonna say Corey Graves, Ray? Is that who you're gonna say? Because I know there's real history of them being friends there. I cannot think of who else you're gonna say. That's not who I think it is, though. Big E, maybe? I don't know, right? Who you got? Big E. All right, I got it. Yeah, there's that NXT history there. Probably only gonna do a one and done on drinks tonight, just because I'm already feeling the effects of this one. I don't want to be just incoherently babbling the whole stream. If you want that, watch the Bound for Glory watch alongs most years. I had to tap out like a quitter this year. Yep, Big E beat Seth for the NXT title, which, as we saw in the NXT return promo that I did last week, it was actually Bray Wyatt who beat Seth for the title in LS11 history. Maybe we'll see that one day. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna go through old 2012, 2013 pre-takeover NXT. I don't know what we're gonna do there, but Jeremy Jacobs for the ROH history. He used to be on the creative team. I know that much. Now he's actually in ROH proper nowadays because he had that match with Shane Taylor a few weeks ago, and I don't know if he's wrestling regularly now or if he's just on Tony Khan's creative team, but might have another heel in just a moment. My guess is going to be Kyrie, and they'll save Asuka for last. Because I already can tell you Charlotte's probably going to be the last one for the faces. In fact, she is going to be the last one. She's the only one left. The alcohol's already hitting, isn't it? Yeah, Big E is honestly probably never coming back, which is really sad, you know. I'd like to see him like be a GM or something one day if he can't come back. All right, yep, Asuka and Charlotte are gonna be the last ones. What the hell is that run, Kyrie? Is she? What is that? Kyrie, what are you doing? Yeah, I agree with you on that, Ray. If I'd kept doing Honor Club, which I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing Honor Club or not, just because I kind of prefer doing WWE Live as to doing Honor Club. I don't know. It just feels like Honor Club is an extra thing I don't really have time for in the week. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to respect myself more now. And when I'm not enjoying something or I don't have time for something, just not forcing myself to do it so I can have fun with life again. That's not to say LS11 Honor Club is done forever. It's just right now it's done. Maybe when the World Cup is done, it'll come back. And it'll just be something that happens between tournaments. Because WWE Live is actually really helpful padding out win-loss records. Even with the rosters being slimmed out with NXT's return, having that extra show where, like, this week, for example, Miz and Omos are getting matches and stuff like that. Excuse me. And a way to do fun things like the Bad News Tour and stuff, which will continue this week with Barrett versus Kofi. I just prefer doing that to Ring of Honor. I'll keep doing the Ring of Honor pay-per-views. But yeah, Honor Club will probably be something that just kind of happens between tournaments. Like, I know I've advertised we're going to do Mixed Match Challenge. We're going to do a Women's World Cup one day. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit before I'm ready to do another one because tournaments are really difficult, and especially when it comes to the tag team ones. That's going to be tedious as shit. Also, it's just great to have Kairi Sane back. I'm so happy she's back. She'll return to LS11 in 2 weeks on the second episode of NXT. Which her return's already been announced on the website that she'll be there. I'll try and remember to put some kind of announcement on the website this week to break some kind of news there. I just need to get better about it. I've just not had time. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to use Kyrie again. She got brought into Impact because I was wanting to use her again, and it's like I brought her in. She was gonna beat Mandy Rose, and then literally the day I brought her in, like an hour after she returned in LS11, it was announced she was heading back to WWE. So I kept her around for a little bit in Impact. I let her kind of. I didn't just have her vanish. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, just put someone else in there and say plans changed," but I let her at least get the Lethal Lottery tournament done and the Fatal Five Way where Hikaru Shida won the title. And she'll be back in she'll be back in NXT next weekend or in about 8 days, 9 days, something like that. 9 days, that's what it'll be. For members, it'll be 8 days because it'll be out. No, 9 days. It'll be for members. 10 days for everyone else. Also, big news for AEW this week. This week's title is Hangman Rides Again. Oh boy, it's really gonna be the guy in the fire with the pizza meme. It's also good to know, Ray, because I'll be making your thumbnail at some point this week when you send me a thing. Oh, I like Charlotte's gear tonight. It gives me a little bit of vibes from her NXT days. Which, Charlotte, it's like, I know everyone gives Charlotte a lot of crap. I like Charlotte just fine. The kind of actual genuine person Charlotte we got to see last night, it really felt like we were actually seeing, like, Ashley Flair last night instead of the character Charlotte. And that's a Charlotte I could get behind. Just actually seeing the person behind her and not just entitlement the character. Because, like, I get the idea behind it. I do. But I mean, I like Charlotte just fine. She's one of those people where it's like, I wanna have the fun of doing a reign with her one day because I feel like I could do a pretty good heel reign with her. I know getting away with a babyface reign with her in the IWC is not a possibility. Is NXT gonna be um, like with Ray writes and you record, or was it? No, it's just me. NXT's me. I think I've explained that as well, but NXT is me this time around. That's why when I talk about things, I'm like, I want to leave this as a Ray Wood era thing, like takeovers. It's not going to be takeovers anymore. It's just going to be regular events. The booking is all me. I consult Ray on things, but it's just me. I'm in charge of NXT this time around. I consult Ray on things to make sure, like, this isn't going to, like, disgrace the legacy you made and stuff. But yeah, no, it's me doing NXT. It's all me. So the rest of the month's NXTs are all booked. I'm starting to work on next month's. I'm shockingly really far ahead with booking lately. I'm staying on top of it for the most part. Um, yep, Hangman's apparently going to be back on Dynamite this week. That's exciting. Excuse me. I was shocked when Chris won the match last week for Ellen. Yeah, I think I was actually consulted on that one. Ray gave me kind of the options. He was like, here's what I was thinking for Ellen. I believe the reason that I pushed Jericho as the idea was, our fans do like Jericho, and we've yet to give him a world title match. He was like the only guy in there that was a believable challenger that hadn't already challenged for the world title at some point. Mox is challenged, Wardlow's challenged. Um, Ricky Starks is in the middle of this stuff. Is in the middle of something. Hook is a little too new. Um, oh my god. Are we about to get EO doing another? Oh, we're gonna get another EO trash can moment like from 2020. Is she gonna wear the trash can and moonsault again? Oh shit. Um, but yeah, and then I'm trying to think of who else. Darby has been champion already. Um, oh Lord, she's gonna wear the trash can and jump again. She's gonna do the thing. Oh, that's such a great spot. I can't wait for Jay and Juice in AEW. Yeah, I gotta move Juice to the AEW roster. I forgot to do that. Completely forgot to do that. Won't be a shocker to tell you guys the original winner of Memphis Mayhem was gonna be CM Punk. Here we go. Asuka's in. Time for the War Games to begin. Um, what was I gonna say? I had something I was gonna share. But yeah, Jericho White is something new that we haven't done. Juice needs to get moved to the AEW roster. I just kind of forgot to do that. Right, yeah. So when Juice shows up and helps Jay win, I actually kind of went off in the chat a little bit about this because it actually annoyed me. And I'm going to rant about it for a minute here. Juice shows up and someone's like, oh, of course Juice is here. And it's like, yeah, the guy who's never appeared in AEW in LS11. The guy who's on another roster in LS11. Of course he showed up. It's so predictable that this guy that's on a completely different show is about to show up with zero hints. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes it bothers me when people are like, oh, of course, or I knew it was going to happen when something's super unpredictable happens. It's like, no, you didn't. It's like, no, you didn't. Yep, Malachi Black is back. I didn't know he was returning then. It's funny, during the premiere, my wife was driving. We were heading back to our hometown to have Thanksgiving with her wife.
Have Thanksgiving with my wife? When did I get a wife?
I've been drinking, dear.
Yeah, and I want to know when I got a wife.
You call me wifey pretty often. Anyways, um, my wife and I were heading back to our hometown to have Thanksgiving with her family
There you go.
on Wednesday night. And so I was watching the show on Wednesday in the car. And I was in the middle of typing a chat that was like, oh, fun fact, I actually don't know who wins this. Ray hasn't told me. And then I see people getting flung off of the cage. I'm like, oh, wait, I know. I remember who's winning now. Because we had discussed it. I just had completely forgotten. Oh, jeez. They weren't they weren't really chained together that tight. They were kayfabing the hell out of those chains, but good on you, Becky and Bianca.
It's all.
Yeah, there were a lot of people thrown off the cage. Ray, wasn't there a line you didn't say on commentary you thought about that was something like three people just took death-defying bumps in 30 seconds? Does it feel like AEW yet? Or something like that?
It's all.
While Juice and Jay are friendly, they are going to be mainly singles entities. I think Damage Control might win it. I mean, because they are picking apart everyone right now. I mean, honestly, have them get that dominant win. That's what I say. Give them a dominant win. I'm all for it. I like Damage Control. I've never been a huge Bailey fan, but I like the rest of them. I like Bailey just fine. I don't hate her by any means. I don't hate Bailey by any means. I'm just not a huge fan. It's like Sasha Banks, you know. Um, I will choose my words carefully because I've had some interesting comments in the past when I've said this sentence. I'm not like a big Sasha Banks fan. I think Sasha Banks slash Mercedes Moné is a little overhyped. She's good in the ring. I'm just personally not a big fan. And again, that's my personal opinion. I'm a random guy on the internet. Don't take my word as gospel. And for God's sake, don't use racial, homophobic, or any other kind of phobia slurs on me for that. Because the comments I have gotten before when I've said that are ridiculous and are words I would never repeat. and AEW, more AEW life crazy spots happen. And I was really checked out with I was really checked out by the end. For $580, Rhea Ripley licked a piece of paper and gave it to a fan. Check Xander's bank account. Okay, look, that's the third time that joke has been made in my direction this week. In the last hour or whatever since it happened. I'm not really sure I appreciate this joke anymore. Yeah, she's not my cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine. It's like the same way that, I get some people saying that Joe Hendry is a little overhyped and that they don't see him as the main eventer I've built him as in LS11, and that's fine. If you don't agree with him, I get that, but he's one of my favorites, and so I'm building him up as such. But yeah, no, that is the third person that has made the joke about the Rhea Ripley paper at my expense today, and it only happened 2 hours ago. I get a DM from one of my friends. I won't name drop him in case he doesn't want me to name drop him. One of my friends DMs me a screenshot of the tweet about how much it sold for and says, "Hope it was worth it." He then puts out a tweet in response to the $580 thing, where it's like a tweet that's like, "Who in their right mind would do that?" And he responds to it with, "Well, I think I know one person." So I respond with and he's got his tweets set where only people he mentions can respond, which is honestly not a bad idea. Keep some toxic haters out of your comments. And I just run with "at me next time" so I can properly respond, LOL. And then my wife is like, "We all know that if you had the money, it would have been you that bought it."
Was I wrong though?
I'm not saying you are.
Anyone involved in this calling you out been wrong?
I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm not saying it's nice. Oh, but what is nice is seeing these two hug it out. I hope these two have actually like legitimately mended their old friendship, because it was really sad a couple years ago to hear that they like had they were best friends for so long. It was really sad to hear that they legitimately had a massive falling out. So I really hope things have worked out with Becky and Charlotte. It was very nice to see that hug. Zach says we need more Joe Hendry. I mean, he's on every Impact. He's in the quarterfinals of the World Cup, so I'm not exactly keeping him away. Oh, we're about to get the insane elbow. Oh, shit. Welcome back, Kyrie. Are you about to tap in War Games? Oh. Oh, so honey, by the way, Ray says in the chat, "Alex, you aren't innocent here. You know he'd buy it and you'd try and steal it for yourself." No, everyone knows I would divorce her before she could. But yeah, so here's a question for them. What do you guys think? For those that have looked at the website and seen the NXT roster, what do we think? What do we think of the NXT roster so far? Is it looking good? Let me throw the tournament graphic in the StreamYard, and we can see what people think for who they think is going to be the first NXT champion as well. I'm really interested in seeing who people think is going to win the tournament. So, oh, there's Rose Plant. Oh, I'm lagging out. Coming back. Am I good? Am I here? I think I'm here. Oh shoot, we're dropping some frames in OBS right now. I'm keeping my eyes on it though. Worst case we go on a brief little BRB graphic or something, while I just turn the Wi-Fi off and back on my computer, because that has helped a lot. But anyway, so like here's the initial NXT Championship tournament lineup. Who do we think's walking out as the first NXT champion of the ZRC NXT era? I think the faces are about to win by pinning Bayley specifically. I think Bailey's about to take the pin, and that'll set her getting kicked out of Damage Control out. That'll set it up. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Roster looks pretty good. I'm really excited about the Zach says he thinks Tyler Bate will win it. That's a pretty solid pick. A lot of people have been saying they think he'll win it. Are you sure you want to know? Pierre, so help me God, if the words Jinder Mahal leave your mouth. I will say Jinder's got something pretty fun coming up in NXT. I recorded the first segment for it today, which was really fun. Really couldn't see who else is going to win that. Geez, I am dropping frames like mad on OBS right now. Pierre says Baron Corbin is his pick. I do apologize that I'm having some technical difficulties over here. I don't think it's anyone's fault by any means. I apologize for any like lag spikes and stuff. There's not really much I can do about that. Once we move in about 3 weeks, we'll be on different Wi-Fi. There's no way in hell you were gonna say Jinder. I mean, you never know. Yeah, the baby faces win, which gives me hope for Judgment Day in the main event. Gives me hope. I do think Bailey's days in not Judgment Day. I think Bailey's days in Damage Control are numbered now. I think she's got about 6 days left in the group. But anyways, yeah, I do apologize for any buffering. There's not much I can do. When we move in a few weeks, we'll be on new Wi-Fi that is not a guest connection. So I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation really is here. I don't know what the provider is or anything. We're currently renting a space from someone is all I can really say there without disclosing too much information. But I will say NXT is going to occasionally Jinder Belongs on Live and catering. So a lot of people really think I don't like Jinder. And I get why they think that. I actually do like him a lot, and that's why he had the 4-year story of being the most losing man in the series. Bailey's doomed. Judgment Day might win. I think they might. I kind of hope they do. I think it could end with Randy RKOing Jey Uso and just letting Judgment Day win because I don't care about winning this War Games shit. There you go. There's my one drink for the night. We'll see if I'm feeling good enough to drink one of the other 2 I have left in the fridge later. I know I went through 3 during I went through 3 of them during Bound for Glory a few weeks ago, which was a lot of fun. Go ahead and make sure my laptop doesn't turn off real quick. That was a really fun match, though. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I'm really excited that we get to do War Games again pretty soon. I mean, I don't think it's much of a mystery that we're going to be doing War Games pretty soon. I know Ray's like, Zander, don't spoil it. But it's like, I don't think it's much of a fucking mystery that we're doing it. As long as I'm like, oh, War Games is going to be between I don't think it's much of a problem with me saying, yeah, we're doing it again. It's oh my god. Yeah, real question is, who's in it this year? I really like SmackDown because it teased something big. It did. R-Truth's back! This is the first time Truth's been around since he got injured last year? I love R-Truth. Tozawa has been like my favorite thing lately, by the way. It's the highlight of my Mondays now. Also, Royal Rumble's coming up. I can do my first Rumble watch along in 2 years this year. Unless something unforeseen happens and like I'm in a foreign country again or something. I'm so excited. And you know, it's gonna be the first actual Rumble under Triple H. It's gonna be the first actual Triple H Rumble, because keep in mind who decided to strut back into creative the week or two before the Rumble last year. It was great to see Truth back from his injury. I'm really glad he's back. I love our Truth. Not that his LS11 booking would tell you I love him, but you know, he's just someone that can lose. Yeah, the real question is who is in the World Cup this year? We'll find out pretty soon. Or not World Cup. War Games. I'm doing great, I promise. Becky or Liv winning the Rumble this coming year. I think it's Jade Cargill. I think Cargill's winning it. I know everyone's like, oh, Liv's gonna win it because she's the last person to pin Rhea. I think you guys that are like the a little over the top Liv fans, I won't say what I'm thinking because I won't be rude, but are a little over the top with your love for her. I think you're the only ones that are thinking that personally. They're not actually like pulling Randy from War Games, are they? Oh God, no! The CM Punk chants are starting. If they pull Randy from War Games, they're gonna do it, aren't they? I'm hoping it's gonna be a thing of let's just keep them in suspense so that when Voices hits, it's an even bigger pop. Also, I'm very interested in what happens with damage control that I lost. One thing I will say, speaking of damage control, as many saw, Bailey is in NXT for the upcoming reboot for LS11. Pay very close attention to her. I've got some big plans for her. All right, Miz. Fuck. Miz and Gunther for the IC title up next. Maurice is apparently in Chicago for this show. So help me God, let it be that Gunther kills Miz in front of his wife and kids, and not Miz wins a record-tying title in front of his wife and kids. I want to watch those children's hopes get crushed. Let's not sugarcoat it. Gunther's had such a hell of a run, man. Incredible matches, great opponents, Sheamus, Drew, Nakamura. Just on pay-per-view, you know, Sheamus and Drew. He unfortunately had terribly many pay-per-view matches now that I'm thinking about it. He had that one at Money in the Bank, but the less said about that one, the better, because we all know how I feel about his opponent from that night. Hanzo's here saying Miz winning. I want Miz to win, but I got Gunther, but Miz should win. So he needs it. Ah, yes, 8-time Intercontinental Champion, 2-time World Champion, The Miz needs to end the longest reigning Intercontinental title reign of all time. Clearly, that's, you know, this young upstart Miz has never had an accomplishment in his career. He obviously needs it. You think because Edge went to AEW, he's going to take him out of the Hall of Fame? Uh, because they took Sting out of the Hall of Fame, because they took Flair out of the Hall of Fame, because they took Rob Van Dam out of the Hall of Fame, because they took who else? Mark Henry out of the Hall of Fame. Yeah, no. I vote for Jay to dethrone Gunther. Agreed. Their father fell to Australian excellence. Yeah, no, I just. Also, Miz stood tall at the end of Raw, so I'm hoping the go home math adds up to a Gunther win. Because I just. If Miz is the one that ends the Gunther reign instead of someone who's never been Intercontinental Champion or a singles champion in general, I'm going to be very angry on the internet. It's about as simple as that. It's going to feel like a waste, is what I'm going to say. Like, I like Miz just fine. I like Miz just fine. Miz is not the guy. He's not that guy. Miz beating Gunther is going to feel cheap. It's going to feel unearned. It's going to feel underwhelming. It should be Trick Williams or Braun Breaker. Those are two good ones, Ray. But I don't want to break the 9 times record because Jericho has it. Yeah, that's what worries me as well, Zach. The only world champion I'd accept beating Gunther is Finn. Yeah, agreed. Finn's the only one I would accept there. Ilya is a good shout as well. I agree. My pick is currently Jey Uso. That's who I want to see do it. Chad Gable doesn't feel like it could be him anymore. It feels like he's transitioned fully into comedy again. Um, Gable feels like he's transitioned to comedy. Dragunov feels like it could happen. Braun, I like Braun Breaker a lot. I just maybe it's not him. Carmelo Hayes maybe. I feel like Trick might be next in line for that NXT title. I feel like he's gonna beat Mello, and I feel like Trick could be the guy that beats Ilya. And like I said, I like Miz just fine. I made him U.S. champion for a reason, not just to do the 48-hour reign and losing to Jinder. That was the main reason, but you know. Imagine if the Rumble ended with Cody and Knight going over the top at the same time. I don't know if they could get away with that. Also, I do like that at War Games they always switch which ring the singles wrestlers are using. Also, I know they're not going to add it in 2K24 because they're too busy ruining their own games by making modding, by trying to put anti-modding stuff into it. I know that's what their main goal is right now. And that's their main concern is to make sure we don't get to have fun with their games. But I feel like, they should make the 2 rings in a regular match an option and custom arenas for War Games an option. Um, Also, speaking of War Games, it's like, on one hand, I would love to do NXT War Games as a show. I think Ray will probably agree with me on this. I don't know. He could tell me in the chat. He could pop in the stream and tell me. I don't know. I feel like, we're already going to be doing War Games at Survivor Series, so it might just become oversaturation, if anything. Maybe, okay, this is me thinking out loud here. Maybe I bring the Survivor Series 4-on-4 elimination to NXT as a thing and do, like, I don't know. I don't know what I'd call it, but NXT something. Not survival, that just feels cheap. I don't know. But NXT something, and then it's like, it's a game of 4-on-4. Why can't we do 3v3v3 War Games? Right, it's just one more person you got to code into the game. It's not that hard. I feel like 2K24 should be the year we can do 5-on-5. They make NBA, which is 5-on-5. Honey, you watch basketball more than me. Basketball's 5-on-5, right?
I think so.
Okay, thank you. I feel like my sister-in-law would be the better person to ask that, but
Yes.
I don't expect her responding to me.
Know that a lot better.
I don't expect her to respond to me at 9 o'clock at night.
It depends.
But point is, 2K makes the NBA games. That's 5-on-5 at the same time. Why can't wrestling be the same? Excuse me. Why can't the wrestling games be the same? God, Corey Graves is talking about the betting odds. Miz is gonna win. Miz is gonna win, and I'm gonna get another drink to drown my sorrows. NXT Endgame, that's not bad. I know currently NXT shows I've booked, not booked, but written into the ideas are Stand and Deliver, um, NXT Stand and Deliver, In Your House, um, New Year's Evil, um, Stand and Deliver. Have I already said that? New Year's Evil, Stand and Deliver, No Mercy. This is not a good thing for me to do after a drink. Fuck. I don't know. Ragnarok is the new one. Thank you, Ray. Ragnarok's the new one that we came up with, that Ray came up with, let's be fair. Ray came up with. But, you know, Fight to Survive's not bad. Endgame's not bad. I'll probably bring Halloween Havoc back to NXT after main roster does it, because I've already advertised it, and I've already got some cosplay attires I'm putting together for it for certain people. I'd like to see how I handle Iron Survivor. It would be interesting to handle, because isn't it essentially a championship scramble? Like, last person to score. Isn't it like people come out one after another, five people come out across the span of a few minutes. First person to score pinfall after the final person's entered wins it, right? Is that right? I don't know. I hate to say it, I've not watched it. I know there's one NXT thing I've considered. I had an idea for it earlier today. I don't want to talk about it on stream though, because if I talk about it on stream, that's going to get you guys' hopes up, and I'd rather clear it with Ray as an idea first and see what he thinks. Okay, that is how Iron Survivor works. That's something I could see myself doing. Deadline, that's another one I could do. Survivor Series 88 was a cool concept. What was Survivor Series 88? Is that the one where it's like all the survivors team up at the end? Or that was 1990, because I liked that concept. I like that concept a lot. What was 88? I don't remember. Ray, educate me. I wasn't around. I was 12 years away. No, 88 was the one where everyone teams up at the end. I thought it was 90 because that's the year Undertaker debut. Yeah, they did it both. They did it both. Because 90 is where Undertaker teams up. Survivor Series Deadly Game is also good. It is. Yeah, yeah. 90 they also all team up. Let me double check. Um, yeah, yeah. They also do it at Survivor Series 1990 because it's Hogan, Warrior, and Tito Santana against Ted DiBiase, Rick Martel, Warlord, Hercules, and Paul Roma with Virgil and Slick. You know, maybe that could maybe be something that we do at like an NXT style Survivor Series, and then it's like the winning team at the end get title matches or something. One thing I really like is it's an Impact thing they came up with a few months ago. The 8-4-1 match, where it's an 8-man tag. The winners then go into a 4-way, and the last one standing gets a title match. That's not how Alex Shelley got his number one contendership to Steve Macklin. I don't think. But the 8-4-1 match could be something I might want to do one day. I'd probably do it in Impact Universe if I did it anywhere. Yeah, I'm not a big Miz as a face man. If I had a nickel for every time the Miz won the IC title from a European way before the guy should have lost. Who's the other one? Who's the other one? Uh okay, Aldis won the match. Thank you, Zach. I could not remember that for the life of me. I don't watch every week, but I like Impact a lot, but I don't have a chance to watch it every week. Who's the other one Miz beat? I know he beat Christian to win it once, and then he won the Battle Royal. He beat Wade Barrett. Jesus Christ, the alcohol is hitting real nice today. Yeah, he beat Barrett on the pre-show of 29, and then Barrett won it back the next night, and then Curtis Axel won it at what do you call it, Payback. We're getting there, man. We are getting there. Say Miz is an 8-time champion. I cannot tell you how many of those reigns were super short though. Because like, let's see. He won it from Christian in 2012, and he held it. He won it like May-ish in 2012, and then he lost it in like October-ish, October-November time to Kofi. So that was a long one. Then he won it from Barrett, lost it the next night. So that's one short reign for Miz. And in that time, he became a 2-time champion. He then won it again in that Battle Royal where he lost it to Ziggler within like 4 weeks. He then won it back from Ziggler and then lost it again the next night. So that's 3 short reigns out of his first 5. Number 6 was when he beat Ryder and he won it. He held it for a while. And that was Miz's best IC title run. Then he lost it to Ambrose, I think about 6 weeks after he beat Ziggler. So that was a decent length. That was number 6. No, that was number. That was number 6. Yeah, because then he lost it to Ambrose, beat Ambrose for it, lost it to Roman, won it back from Roman. So that was number 7 and 8. So he had 3 like less than a month long reigns with the title. I do still agree that Miz is one of the best Intercontinental champions they've had. I mean, WWE's been doing mainly short reigns for 2 decades. Yeah, you're right, they have. That's something we've been trying to stray away from because, like, the IC title, the history of the IC title on our channels, it's my fault. It is because I'm the one that's primarily booking that title, but the history of that title is not great. Like, Nakamura lost it 1 month in. Ciampa had it for the rest of the season. But then after that, Gargano got it for 2 months. Cesaro got it for 2 months. Nakamura got it for 3 months. Roddy got it for 2 months. Cena got it for 2 months. Dijak got it for a month. Cross got it for 2. Ricochet got it for 2. Balor got it for 2. Owens got it for 1. Theory got it for a while. It was like there was a lot of 2-month runs with the IC title. Like the average run for the IC title in LS11 is 56 days. That is the most frequent occurring number. But then like Steiner, I think, got it for 3. Rude got it for 2. Gunther got it for a little over that. Gunther was at the time the second longest reigning, but now Seth Rollins has overtaken that. And Rollins has had it a while. Seth Rollins is Oh yeah, Rollins and Mello is officially locked in for SummerSlam, by the way, Zach, since you were saying a tease. That it's locked in, it's happening. The current announced SummerSlam match card for LS11 is, let's see, Nikki Bella versus Tiffany Stratton for the Divas title, Mello versus Rollins for the IC, the Fatal 4-Way for the Raw Tag titles, Reigns versus Batista, Gunther versus Edge for the WWE title, and Drew and Cody main eventing the show in a WrestleMania rematch. In almost 6 months of booking AEW, the most I've switched belts is twice. Yep. And then I'd say Seth is already closing in on being the best IC champion. Yeah, I agree. That was kind of the goal when I set out on this title reign was, get some new guys over with it and make Seth the most memorable IC champion we've had. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of that so far. And, if he loses to Mello, that's going to be a pretty memorable person to lose it to. Get Carmelo Hayes' first, main championship. Did I miss a Mello #1 contender match? No, he just Guy hasn't lost a match in a while, so laying out Seth Rollins officially locked it in after the win over Nathan Frazier. Not everyone becomes number one contender by winning a number one contenders match. It just kind of happens. It just kind of happens if they've got a lot of momentum and it seems like, all right, they've done enough to earn a title match. Like Melo's earned it by now. He had that really good cruiserweight title match. He never got a true rematch. And then after that, he didn't lose a match. In fact, I don't think he's... I've got to double check myself, but... Let me pull up LS11universe.com. Cheap plug. Let's see. Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, he's lost 2 matches this season. One was Money in the Bank. And... Oh, no. Oh, no. No. They're trying to give me a heart attack with that near fall. Thank God that wasn't how they end the record-setting reign. Yeah, his last loss... He lost another match, but I think it was a tag match or something. Yeah. It was Woods, Mello, and Trick against LWO. That's what he lost. And it was Woods who got... It was Trick who got pinned. Trick got pinned even though his hand was on the ropes. So yeah, Mello's last pinfall loss was against Woods on June 16th. And I only know that because 616. They gotta stop doing these near falls. I'm gonna explode. I do agree with, I think it was Tom Campbell, or it was one of the Cultaholic guys, I'm pretty sure, who said that Miz is going to be one of those guys we appreciate way more when he's gone. And I agree with that. I can see Gunther challenging for a world title in real life. Super SmackDown. So he didn't lose to Woods by pinfall in Super SmackDown. WrestleMania SmackDown was when it was the ladder match that Santos pulled the belt down and threw it onto Woods, so Woods technically won. 616, June 16th, was the last time Mello got pinned. And it was when he retained against Dragon Lee and then said that he'd beat everyone in the division and threw out another open challenge. Or maybe it wasn't Dragon Lee he beat, but he beat someone and then threw out another open challenge and Woods answered and won. Thank God Gunther won. See Gunther challenging for a world title in real life WWE pretty soon. Yeah, Corbin's going to be another one of those guys that we appreciate more when he's gone. But thank God Gunther won. He won that more than clean because he didn't cheat with a low blow. But I'm sure Miz will somehow have earned a rematch from that. I don't know. But yeah, Gunther, I could see Gunther winning the Rumble this year. Which, I mean, and then royalties and all that, but, you know. Thank God for the Gunther victory. Now then, hopefully we can, Oh yeah, it was like triple clean because Gunther went shoulder first into an exposed turnbuckle. Who's left for Gunther? I mean, there's a lot of people left. You got Ilya who could come up. You got Breaker and Mello who could come up. You got Sheamus could be back from injury any day if they want to move him to Raw. You got Jey Uso. That's still my pick for who wins it, is Jey Uso. But how they have been teasing maybe Kaiser is the one. I don't think Kaiser's going to be the one to beat him. They would have a lot of work to do, and I would be up for it one day. I say you do a redo of last year's Rumble, Cody at 1, Gunther 30. I agree. Okay, I'm going to put up the leftovers from dinner real quick and use the restroom. I will be right back, everybody. Here is a, I don't know, we'll just throw up a intermission picture or something here. Have have a picture of me and Ray from the wedding or something. And let me mute myself. Oh, Saudi show in January? Huh. Oh, Dragon Lane Santos Spark. Gonna be honest, forgot this match was happening. Also, love that the viewership tanked when I stepped away. Makes perfect sense. I mean, there was nothing happening on screen. I just had to use the. I had to run to the restroom. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, Apparently, Malachi Black name dropped CM Punk on Collision. Looking at Twitter, catching up on what I've missed. Let's. Where was the? So they announced there's a show coming in January. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. Let's see. Okay, just someone bring me up to speed on that part that I missed because I was in the bathroom. Okay, as being a House of Black, I'm happy for Julia. Yep, same here. She definitely earned that. She's been like consistently the most over woman on the roster for a while. Or one of, next to Toni Storm, obviously. I don't know. I feel like this has got to be a Santos win tonight, and I feel like it happens with his new legato forming with Humberto, Angel, and Elektra Lopez, which, Angel joining a new version of LWO right after I had him turn down an invitation to join the group a few weeks ago on LS11. Things don't always age perfectly for us, but Nizzle. I don't even have to look to know that you were the one that knocked that over. I will say, I don't have the nostalgia for Carlito that everyone else does because I wasn't watching when he was around. Um, Hi, Missile. Missile might be joining us on stream in a moment here, it looks like. Come here. You want to come say hi to everyone? Anyway, I don't have the nostalgia for Carlito that everyone does, but this return hasn't been hit for me. But anyway, I was talking about figures earlier and how I got some new ones. Let me show these off. I've actually grabbed them. I was eating earlier. I went out yesterday and got this Triple H, which is pretty cool. Everyone knows he's my favorite of all time, so got this, which is pretty cool. It's from 1999 when he joined the corporation, won the WWE title, and then another one I got in the mail, which came into my old house, so I picked it up when I was in town for Thanksgiving. Um, is I got the Amazon exclusive. Oh, missiles spinning into that chair. And the Amazon exclusive Hookhausen 2-pack, which is pretty exciting. When Triple H won today, it was such a Triple H way of winning. Yeah, hit a pedigree on Jericho, hit it on Edge, let Edge kick out, then go cover Jericho a solid 20 seconds later. So he's had to sell the pedigree for almost a full minute. Yeah. Yeah, Missile, you gonna sit? Oh, she's off. Yeah, when that was not the original way the match was supposed to end. So that matchup and the cruiserweight title are the two I had to re-record because my audio got really glitchy. Um, the audio got really glitchy, and that messed up the take. Like my voice got pitched up a lot. It became super pixelated. Um, My voice got like glitchy. It sounded really bad, is all I'm saying. So I had to re-record the cruiserweight title and the intercontinental title matches, and the world tag title match also had to get cut because of that, and I just didn't have time to re-record it. But the original finish to Triple H, Edge, and Jericho was uh, Edge speared Jericho, then got pedigreed onto a chair for the three. Um, but somehow that felt even the pedigree 30 seconds before he got the win felt like a very Triple H way to do it. But Trips got a Trips. It is his first LS11 win, which is so exciting for me. I'm just happy I got to finally put a fucking belt on Triple H for longer than one show. Already on your second MJF figure. So I don't have an MJF anymore. It's one of those I sold. And it's like, I sold all the wrestling figures a couple years ago now, and I regret every minute of doing it. Like, the money I got out of it was helpful for the time, for the financial pinch I was in. But now it's a game of, like, slowly but surely I'll rebuild the collection. And in some cases, I'll get some of them back for cheaper, which is kind of nice, because some of them are actually a little cheaper now, because there's newer versions out and stuff. So, and there's some people I didn't get rid of. Like, I've got a good Ciampa and Gargano already, so I don't have to worry about getting new ones of them. I've got the ringside exclusive Valter, so I've got that. I don't need a Gunther. I could get one if I wanted one, but that'll be a decision to make down the road. But I like him wearing the black more than I like him wearing the red that his new elite's got, for example. I've got, I've got a couple more figures coming in that I got on the Amazon Black Friday sale that I got like four elites for like $30 total, which for those that know how much elites actually are, that's a $50 discount I got there. So girl math tells me that I did the right thing there.
What?
I got $80 worth of stuff for 30, so I saved $50.
Okay.
Yeah, that's scroll math, right?
No, that's just math.
Okay.
Raw math is when you work it down further beyond just the literal numbers.
Oh, okay.
That's like saying paying for something in cash is free because you have that cash set aside for that and it's not coming out of your bank account, so it's free.
Huh. Gotcha.
Or if you buy an outfit and you don't look at just the price. So let's say I bought a jumpsuit and I was going to wear it once a week for at least this set period amount of time. That means it would be this much per wear, which means it's basically free. Like if I bought something for $20 and I was going to wear it, let's see, once a week for, let's say, 10, no. Yeah, so $20 item worn over the course of worn once a week over the course of a year would bring that down to 38 cents a wear, meaning it's basically free.
Oh.
That is girl math.
Okay.
Not. It was $80, but like I only paid $30, so it's $50 off. That's just an elementary school math problem.
Okay.
That's third grade math. That's not girl math.
Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to reading the chat now. I'm a little too drunk to remember this, but
just know that was third grade math, not girl math.
there. PR says I'm tempted to pick up.
Learn it in school, that's not girl math.
PR says I'm tempted to pick up the new Logan Paul figure. I saw he's getting a couple of them, which is honestly kind of funny more than anything for me.
Yeah, Kristen worked the jumpsuit down to 55 cents, so.
There you go.
Per wear, so basically free.
Ray said, put up the picture of Charlie Day in front of the pin board where it's like, you know, the conspiracy theory meme where it's like,
yeah.
He said, that's Alex explaining this to Zander.
Yeah, there's 10 inches to girl math. You clearly never watched enough of that girl math podcast.
No, I did not.
TikTok.
No, I did
where
not.
they worked down a $500 hair dryer to it's free.
Oh yeah, you did show me that one. But
yeah.
Keep in mind,
they worked it down by subtracting the cost of a blowout, like a full trip to the hair salon for a blowout, because that was what the hair dryer advertised that you could do at home. And they worked it down to it's free. And they had a guy sitting there with the calculator subtracting off every cost that they subtracted out of that hair dryer.
I see.
To ensure that they weren't just skipping numbers. And it was this whole phenomenon for a while, because it's like, yeah, whatever. But the whole reason the concept of girl math even exists in the first place is the historical barring of women from places of education. So, there's a little history lesson packed on there.
All right then.
Same thing with sciences too.
I see. So anyway, yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, I've already given my prediction that it's a Santos win, but I'm glad that they're going to let Dragon Lee get a chance to shine. Feels like he's starting to really connect with the fans, which is really good. I've been a fan of him in ring wise for a while. I'm hopeful he gets more of a character than just, oh, I grew up watching this guy, let me avenge him being injured. And like, you know, we get to learn a bit more about Dragon Lee himself, like what makes him tick, you know, what's his character? Does he like long walks on the beach, you know? Does he like, you know, is he like classical music? Does he, you know, you get my point. In a more serious thing, what's Dragon Lee's character? What's he got, you know? World Cup watchers will have also seen we actually have a Dragon Lee mod now, which will show up eventually when he's on SmackDown next, which should be sooner rather than later. Dragon Lee does fucking rule. Like, in ring, awesome. Just need a little more personality to him outside of Rey Mysterio's my hero, let me avenge him. And he's doing a good job getting the sympathetic babyface cheers right now against Santos. I mean, you had Santos Escobar essentially kill Rey Mysterio, so of course he's going to get booed as well. Yeah, does he enjoy the finer works of Shakespeare? Ray's on to something.
realizes the finer works of Shakespeare?
Fuck if I know. I don't like Shakespeare at all.
Is it by quantity of dick jokes or a lack of dick jokes?
I really don't know. I don't care for Shakespeare. I had to deal with him in high school and college because I was gonna get a theater minor for like a semester.
You did that one to yourself. You
Yeah.
should have realized theater minor involves Shakespeare.
I took 2 theater classes, so I fortunately only had to deal with him in one of the two though, so that was nice. Um,
Yeah, but you still should have realized that would have involved exposure to Shakespeare.
Zach I just want one Nick Aldis real life WWE match. I'm sure it'll happen. Someone will push him too far and he'll snap and have a match. It'll be kind of like the Daniel Bryan 2018 or 2016 to 2017 stuff. No, 2016 2018. He was GM for a while, wasn't he? Daniel Bryan 2016 to 2018 stuff. It'll be like Drake Maverick when he was the wait, hold on. Drake Maverick when he was the what do you call it? The 205 GM, and he eventually snapped and had the match with Mike Bennett. Stuff like that. Yeah, Kevin Owens is a good shout for someone to make him snap and have the match. You want to get booed? Turn on Rey Mysterio. Also, that one time, the 2014 Royal Rumble. Yeah, essentially, don't beat Daniel Bryan in 2014, and you'll get booed. But speaking of Daniel Bryan in 2014, notice something, folks, when it comes to, where is it? Retro. Yep, Retro Universe Specials 2014 Royal Rumble. I removed all the stuff. Notice something, folks. I mean, all wrestling is action-based, action-focused weekly episodic play. Yeah, pretty much. Santos and Dragon Lee having a really good match right now. But Santos just won clean. Also, he hit a Canadian Destroyer, and Dragon Lee didn't immediately follow up with one of his own. That's called selling the fucking move. Anyways, yeah, notice someone on the far right of your screen announced for the LS11 2014 Royal Rumble. So don't worry. I was originally going to record it on the PS5, but I'm thinking about, now that I know I can duplicate my save file for 2K, I'm thinking about having essentially 2 save files, one I use for old shows, like throwback shows, and one I use for the modern stuff, because just getting it set up is going to be a little tedious, but then once I've got it set up, it's set up. Oh, NXT promo. Is it NXT Deadline? Is that what it's called, I think? Right? Yep, Deadline. Also, Josh Briggs just kind of randomly in the Iron Survivor match. That's certainly interesting. That's all I can really say to that is interesting. I don't watch every week though, so like I occasionally open up and I occasionally will watch NXT if I've got a little extra time on a Tuesday, but I'm usually spending my Tuesdays playing Spider-Man right now, so Pierre, can you give me a TLDR of the Reddit post you just put into the Discord? I don't know if I've got it to I don't know if I've got it in me to read it. Yeah, it's certainly a choice. Apparently he was picked by JBL according to Zach. I love that LA Knight is now the new Slim Jim promoter. That's fantastic. And New Day's rolling up in the Slim Jim mobile, honking their New Day Rocks chant. Priest and Drew in the background. In essence, Drew hasn't made a decision if he's going to resign or not. Thank you. I did. Next match is presented by Slim Jim. What match is it? Is it a Slim Jim Battle Royal? Is LA not going to win another Slim Jim Battle Royal tonight? Oh no, it's the Women's World Title. It's Rhea. I'm much more interested in that. What?
You don't get to say that and then disapprove of getting called out like you were earlier today over the fucking licked autograph. You know I'm right.
I can't hear you. It's really windy in this tunnel. Can't hear you. New Day's not the same without Big E. I sadly agree. I miss Big E. Like I said, when and if Nick Aldis eventually quote unquote snaps and stops being SmackDown GM to be an in-ring guy, which I think will happen one day. I would like to see Big E maybe take over that role. I know when I was doing the whole Titus and Miz thing, Ray was like heavily trying to get me to do Big E as the GM instead. It was like the thing was there. I was still holding out hope Big E would come back to wrestling. Titus has been pretty clear he's pretty much done wrestling. And he also pitched R-Truth at one point. Again, it was another one of those R-Truth's gonna wrestle still things. So I stuck with Titus. I kind of stuck to my guns and was like, right, I'm doing Titus. But yeah, Big E is someone I could see being like a fun on-screen authority character at some point. Or commentator. He could do commentary. Um. Oh, she's got her headphones in. From Ray in chat, quote, essentially mocking me. I'm allowed to have an interest in this woman's professional career, Alex. God. Apparently, that's the vibe I was giving off.
Yeah. Along with pouting.
Let's see. Zach asks, any announcements for NXT this week? There is one person on the roster that is going to be officially arriving and being moved to the NXT roster from Raw or SmackDown that is not already announced that you will be seeing on Wednesday. And I'm really excited for people that, or not Wednesday, Tuesday, sorry. Wednesday's Ray's thing. That you'll be seeing on Tuesday. And I'm really excited because it's kind of, I'm going to put it this way. It's kind of my Dolph Ziggler project, like what Ray had with NXT, where he used NXT to make Ziggler one of the most over guys in the series, which is eventually what led to Ziggler winning the U.S. title. This is going to be kind of my Dolph Ziggler, is the way I'm looking at it. And a few people in the inner circle know who it is, but I don't think they realize that it's my Dolph Ziggler is who I'm referring to with this. But you'll find that out on Tuesday. Also, poor Zoe Stark is going to get absolutely murdered in this matchup. There's just not a chance in hell she's beating Ripley. Zoe Stark is another person that's wait a minute, wasn't Tony D arrested? He has been let out on parole for good behavior. I can confirm though he shows up wearing orange this week. Yeah, he was put under arrest for 60 days. He spent 60 days in prison for his crimes and was let out on parole for good behavior. Yeah, and Zoe Stark's one of those that's like just not my it's one of those things where it's like, she's not my favorite. Zach says, thinking of that, uh, have Root has done. Where's Ziggler, Shelton, Ali? LOL, I haven't seen them in a minute. Zach, but Ziggler, Shelton, and Ali got released. You know that, right? So imagine being arrested mid-match. As Dexter happened to him too. He was officially pardoned by the Honorable Judge Zanziger, though, after it was proved Eric Bischoff faked his death. And Dexter Loomis actually spoke for the first time ever in LS11, so that was fun. I know, but turn this over since you have Tony as a criminal. Oh, 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 respectfully, respectfully. Leaning back so my wife can also look respectfully. That's all I will say there. Um, roll the clip.
Would you look at that, Kevin? It's the police.
And alternatively, where's the other one? I saw it in here earlier. I mean, it's in here. I know it is. I saw it literally at the beginning of this stream. There it is.
I'm gonna fight all these urges, my brother.
Man, Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. I hope Rhea Ripley is having a very nice day in Chicago right now. Let's see if I can get my webcam to... Come on. Come on. Cover it up. Give it a second. Pull it back. Dom Brum being surprised Eric was alive got a really good laugh at me. Yeah, I was hoping it would get people to laugh because that was kind of the goal more than anything, was to make people laugh with it. Because it was like, yeah, it was all Eric's idea to get out of it all, was by faking his death. We're gonna get the webcam to fucking pop back into focus any minute now. Any minute now. There we go. We got it. We got there eventually. But yeah, Ziggler, Benjamin, and Ali are three of the releases that you've already seen Emma return to LS11. She was on Impact this week. It's not officially a re-signing yet. Keyword is yet. Also, shout out to a member of our community, Colton, who is currently at the show right now. Is this the only other match before the main event? I think it is. Which, I mean, it's coming up on 10 o'clock, and the main event's going to go easily an hour. My laptop is still just going nuts, and I don't know why. It's like I literally have closed out everything for the most part. Like, let's see. Says the CPU is still running at almost 100%, or was almost running 100%. It's like CPU is running at 55, memory is running at 56. It's like, what's making it go so nuts? Firefox has one tab open now. Hope Dom doesn't get PTSD in more games. Pierre. Oh my god, Pierre. Stop. Stop. That made me laugh more than it had any right to. Also, that springboard there from Zoe was pretty cool. I just saw the replay of it. I was looking away for a minute. Oh! One thing I really like about war games, the LEDs are not there. There's no LED all over the ring. The barricades being LED is ridiculous. Next wave could work for war games. They could. They could. That's all I'll say there. I'm not going to give any hints on who it'll be. Obviously, last year it was all about the 6. And that was such a perfect time for them to put war games in the game because it was like we didn't want to just do 4-on-4 for the 6 at Survivor Series because the idea was that they would need to lose on that show, and I didn't want Cody getting pinned. It was really supposed to be Drew was supposed to get pinned at War Games last year, but just he kicked out of the move that was supposed to finish it. It was also supposed to be Bronson Reed pinning him to set up the Royal Rumble match, but it all ended up with Tyler Bate pinning Ricochet, I think. Or Austin Theory, it was one of the two. He pinned one of the two dumbasses. He pinned one of the two people with only one brain cell. Someone lost their ring in the middle of the ring. I don't know if it was Rhea's engagement ring or what. I know she's got one of those now. Yeah, stooges. I mean, that's usually what I call them. It's like Cody's obviously the leader. Solo is his right-hand man. Raquel's the enforcer for the women's division, and they don't have Alba anymore. Alba was kind of the second in command after Drew left, and then Raquel was her enforcer. But now it's like yeah, there's not much going on with the 6. Ricochet and Theory are the two that get beat up a lot. Buddy has been killing it as international champion. It's like that's the one thing that like I thought was going to change immediately when Ray took over. I thought Ray likes Buddy just fine, but the international title was kind of his project. I was gonna say I'd be shocked if Buddy Matthews kept it longer than a few months after Ray took over, but like Ray's been doing this for 6 months now. He started in May. He's been doing it for half a year, and Buddy is still champion, which to an extent shocks me because yeah, Cody's got a plan for Alba. We'll learn more about that later. Can't announce anything about that yet, though. We'll hear more about that next Friday, not this Friday. I don't think. Have I recorded this Friday yet? Yeah, I did. Right? I'm thinking. Hold on, I gotta check. Yes, I have recorded this week's SmackDown. And it's next week that we find out what's going on with Alba. after she hit Cody in the face with a bat. Because he sent Raquel to take her out in Money in the Bank, and that didn't quite work out. I mean, it kept her out of winning it. Ultimately, Blair Davenport won it. Oh my God! I'm very much enjoying this match. Like I know that makes it sound like I'm just being weird, but no, I've really this has been a pretty good match actually. Rhea's had some pretty solid title defenses whenever she does defend. I know she hasn't defended terribly often in the last several months, but her last several defenses she has had, this one and the five-way matchup a few weeks ago, they're actually always really fun, I've noticed. Love the Cody Solo dynamic. Where he feels about Solo's first defeat since last year's Survivor Series. Will be something that starts at Secret No More on Rhea. Yeah. Yeah. Currently, I think right now, Cody doesn't care what's happening to anyone but him, as we kind of saw at the end of SmackDown. He's kind of, as my friends across the pond would say, Cody's kind of losing the plot right now, realizing that Drew is coming after him and that Nick Aldis is on SmackDown now. I'll make the metaphor I'm thinking of when it comes to Cody and Drew at SummerSlam proper, probably. Keywords probably. But yeah, I'm really happy that we finally got Nick Aldis on the Okay, it's called Z360. That's good to know for soon. Zoe Stark's going to start appearing a little more. Now that the roster's kind of thinned out in a good way, Zoe Stark's finally going to start appearing a little more in LS11. Good match. Good star-making performance there for Zoe. Yeah, share with the class. Yeah, share with the class.
You can walk on the helicopter blades in this game.
Power Rush Simulator.
Yeah.
I saw it pop up on my screen.
What?
I saw it pop up on my screen that that's what you were doing.
Yeah. So I'm on the fire station helicopter, and you can walk on the helicopter blades.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cleaning the blades first because there's an achievement for doing that. And the achievement is live by the blade. So I'm living by the blade right now.
Oh yeah, Pierre pitched the worst possible Forbidden War match. Yep, he sure did. Ray said it's funny because when I took over Dynamite, Zander said that he thinks the first guy to lose his title will be Buddy Matthews, and he's the only one who's still champion 6 months later. Yeah. Zach says I can see Aldis and Drew versus Stooges. That will actually be the main event of SmackDown this week. Is Aldis and Drew versus Theory and Ricochet. I recorded that on Wednesday. Yeah. I got off work a couple hours early, so I recorded that. Oh, looks like the Alpha Academy's doing the Christmas promo now. So we won't have to wait for a pay-per-view for Oz's first official day event. No, it'll be next week, and he'll be on WWE Live this week as well. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I know they did the WWE.com sale last night for Black Friday. They had some belts marked down for like the like authentic $400, $500 belts for like 200. And it's like it's one of those things where if I wasn't about to move and I had a little more money to spend on fun stuff, I would have considered getting one, but you know, I'm about to move again, so I gotta keep my money. I gotta keep my money safe so that I can pay rent and stuff. God, the Royal Rumble is gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. I rewatched so Rumbles are really like the only match I'll go back and rewatch nowadays. And actually, it's always been that way. Um, Man, Royal Rumble. I watched the Royal Rumbles both from this year. I know that like going in, I was really frustrated with the Rumble this year, the men's specifically, because it was like we got to the show itself, and there were 10 empty slots. Like there were 10 empty slots in the Rumble. It was like, oh, this is gonna be exciting. We're gonna get 10 surprises. Then 30 minutes before the show, they announced 8 more people. And so the only 2 surprise entrants we got were Logan Paul, or only 3 we got were Logan Paul, Edge, and Booker T. I like the research about it. It was fine. It was cool. All right, yeah, unless Nakamura comes out to do something, War Games is up next. Yep, we're gonna get the video package, so there's not gonna be anything to interrupt. Doesn't look like. I truly do hope this is the end of the Judgment Day versus Cody, Drew, or Cody, Sammy, Seth, and Jay stuff, and not just the beginning of Judgment Day versus Cody, Drew, or Cody, Sammy, Seth, Jay, and Randy. I, you know, at this point, it's like I played it up for a while that I hated him, but now I just don't really care. I'm impartial now. Life's too short for me to spend it sitting here hating on the same people over and over. That's where I'm at. If that makes any sense to anyone. Also, I'm hopeful that 2K23 or 24 will get a 4-person Judgment Day entrance, if not 5. Probably 4, but still. Oh yeah, you'll get your first ever I won't say when or where, but you're gonna get your first ever me doing a promo that ends with a yeet soon. So that'll be fun. Also, Eddie Kingston said it himself on Punk. You're not going to like everyone you work with, and that's fine. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, poor Seth. He's the world champion, and he's not the leader of the team. It's kind of ridiculous. Just a little ridiculous, if you ask me, personally. All right. Looks like we're getting the entrances any second now. So Judgment Day's got the advantage. My guess is Finn is going to start because out of the out of the five of them, it's either going to be Finn or Drew starting it. My guess is Finn because out of those five, Finn's probably the most likely that can keep an Iron Man performance. Finn and Jay are my guess for who's starting it. I wouldn't mind if Seth just turned in this match. Would it make sense? Not really. Well, you know. Yep, the cage is lowering. And they've got fire rising as well. So my guess for entrances is Finn, Jay, Drew, Seth. Or no. Finn, Jay, Drew, Sammy. JD, go fuck himself. Cody. And then Priest, Seth, Dom, Randy. And Randy won't come out with everyone. Randy will not show up. And then finally, when that countdown, they'll do what they did with Kevin Owens a few years ago in NXT. Where it's like, ha, he's not coming. I hear voices, and all that happens. And Randy Orton will come out last. And that's why the faces don't have the advantage, is so that Randy can come out last and not be in the cage. Finn and Seth is a good shout though. So they added a fifth little demon looking guy there with a sword. No, there's four though. I wonder if they'll add a fifth to represent. I don't have a gimmick. Rhea's gonna take on RKO tonight. I firmly believe it's happening. Rhea's gonna get dropped with an RKO. Loved Judgment Day's gear tonight, though. My whole thing with that was Zander already did the Elite having a big run at the top. Now, I don't want to do it again. So I decided this season would be the breaking of the Elite. Which makes sense to me. God, I want to see a Priest and Drew match at some point. Drew should have a... Well, then he gotta risks having the Resident Evil style weapon, doesn't he? something you can use in Resident Evil and Dead Rising as a weapon that is also purple and sword-shaped. Alright, yep, Finn's going in. I got one right so far. God, I want to see a Priest and Drew match. Like, 2021, when Priest was US champion, and they acted like they were going to do that as a match, and then just did Sheamus for 4 months. There, I got my arm to pop. Also, it's now been it's been a full year since this happened. Never forget I did that. That was fun. I could never do a video like that again. That was tedious as hell to make. But it's like, yeah, they teased us. It was like, oh, Drew's never held the US title. It's the one title he's never held. Priest has got it. He wants it. And it was like, we've had Priest versus Sheamus for 2 months now. Oh, we're going to do it again, though. It's like, come on. It is kind of crazy, like, just thinking about Damian Priest and Drew, because, you know, LS11 Universe, I believe they did a match for the US title in that. Priest gets kicked out of JD. I could see Drew replacing him. Yeah, same here. I really like the tension between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest tonight. Also notice Damian doesn't have his briefcase with him, so... We're gonna get that War Games whoa. God, that's so much smoke that he's having to walk through. Here we go. The War Games woe is incoming. Still waiting for that match from the moving graphics. Yeah, I wouldn't count on that. If JD loses, Priest taking the pin as he's the leader for it. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. I had not thought about that. Also, I'm just happy Cody gets to finally be in a War Games match after, you know, like, he tried to be in it in AEW, and then they ended up canceling it because of COVID, when it was going to be the Elite versus the Inner Circle. And that became Stadium Stampede, which Matt Hardy then ultimately took Cody's place in. Let's see. Also, I'm 100% confident there's like a clear coat on top of the cage for them to be willing to let Jay do that. But like, he tried to do it in AEW, and then it ended up becoming Stadium Stampede, and he wasn't even in that because of COVID and all that. And then he got to WWE the next year. Or no, they finally did it in 2021, but it was Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. Excuse me. Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle. And Cody was in the middle of being on Cody Islands during all of that. And then he comes to WWE and gets injured. And so he finally gets to be in War Games. Do you think Rollins and Cody can get along? I don't think that's even remotely the story they're telling, so yeah, they'll be fine. I could see Randy do one thing in this match, and that's either RKO Jay or he and Jay do a 1D KO. Yeah, it's very possible. Very probable. Or both. 1D KO and then an RKO to Jay. Looking forward to when that Seth Rollins attire gets made as a mod. I will 100% use that for something. Don't know what I'll use it for, but I'll use it for something. Yeah, the Codyverse. I just know Steven Larson call it Cody Island, and that's so that's what I think of it as because all right, Seth and Finn are starting it off. Pierre got it right. WrestleMania is a long way off. Given Randy's back issues, I say he brings up the punt. Probably. Yep, no Randy yet, so it's probably going to be a Kevin Owens 2020 or not 2020, 2019 situation. Fashionably late is Randall Keith. Randall Keith. Randall Keith. Na 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 na. Oh shit! Seth ain't waiting. They were not waiting for that one. All right, so from here, then my picks go. Balor's in now. Seth is in now. It'll be Mick What's His Nuts, and then it'll be Sammy, and then it'll be Damian, and then it'll be Jay, and then it'll be Drew last, and then wait, yeah, and then Cody, and then Dom, and then Randy. I just imagine Randy threatening Dom with him punting Rhea. Oh no. He's gonna RKO Rhea. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be hilarious. I love Rhea Ripley, but it's gonna be hilarious. Because it's gonna be great, like, finally she got that after she's been it's gonna be like finally someone did it after she's been threatening and like telling guys, punch me, hit me for like 2 years now, or whatever. Almost 2 years. Telling people to hit her, and the guys just all having too much class and manners to do so. Randy Orton doesn't give a shit. Randy Orton will do it. Randy will RKO a bitch. It's like there's a reason that it's been so specific with who's been willing to fight Rhea. Noam Dar was willing to do it. Jinder was hesitant but did it. Andre Chase got absolutely destroyed. Grayson Waller is hesitant, but he's doing it because he wants the title. And we're actually going to have a number one contenders match, not this Monday, but next Monday. Grayson Waller versus Pete Dunne versus Chad Gable, with the winner challenging Rhea at SummerSlam. So that'll be exciting. Rhea's SummerSlam match is going to be fun. If Dom thought what Randy did to his dad in 2018 was bad. God, talk about what he did to his dad. Think about 2006. After Eddie passed. Speaking of, so did Eddie and Shawn live up to the hype, everyone? Did I pull that off? I was hoping for the low rider. Oh god, the CM Punk chants are getting louder. I was hoping to do the low rider, but I just couldn't make it work. And I wanted the finish to actually be a frog splash countered in the Sweet Chin music, but I couldn't make that work either. That's why Eddie did the 3 back-to-back, that was what I was trying to do, and it wouldn't even give me a reverse prompt sometimes. But, bless you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Eddie and Shawn match. Hopefully it lived up to the hype. SummerSlam 04, it was a lot of fun, but I'm definitely going to stay away from the early 2000s for a while, and if I go back to it, have Ray and possibly even the fans help me with ideas for it a little bit. I like consult the Inner Circle a lot more than I did with the 04 series. Yeah, it is a real shame about the lowrider, because apparently, like, it's just so fucking specific what arenas it works in and what ones it doesn't. It's like, oh, it needs this stage to work. And I tried that. I went and got a custom SummerSlam 04 arena, set the stage to the right thing, and it still wouldn't work. So it's like Zandermania a few years ago. Zandermania a few years ago, Ray and I had a tag match on it. and we were supposed to use the 2K19 van entrance, but it wouldn't work no matter what we did. And so ultimately we did the dancing entrance instead. Yikes, Seth's back. I'm not concerned about Seth's back at all, given he goes and then just gets back to doing what he was doing. I love Seth Rollins. My man does not know how to sell worth a damn. Too bad we won't see the reign of Shawn. You'll get like highlights of it at some point, very probably. WrestleMania 21 is something I'll probably do at some point, so I'd like to redo every WrestleMania at some point. Yep, all right, I'm 1 for 1 now on the next entrance, because here comes... let's see what I want to call him this time. JD, Mick, I'm tired of doing this joke all the time. JD Mick, not in universe for many reasons. And so next will probably be Sammy. That's my guess. Oh! But yeah, so we talked about Seth Rollins. What do you guys... I have a feeling I know what Zach Rushing thinks, person, just knowing how he is with Rollins, but what do you guys think? Has Seth Rollins' IC title reign... Do you think it's... Oh, if you don't think Seth Rollins is the best Intercontinental Champion in LS11 history, who do you think is the best? Because I know Pierre said that Seth is quickly working his way up, but I'm curious if you guys think he is yet or not. Because I think he already might be. Because Ciampa's got the longest reign. But Ciampa also didn't have much to talk about with his. Like, he won it. He beat Nakamura and Zayn in a rematch at Super Showdown in Australia, specifically in Australia. And then he beat Gable in what might have been the match of season 1, honestly. Shame we'll never see Trips' IC title reign. Like I said, you'll probably get highlights of it. I mean, we weren't doing Raw 2004 anyway, so... It's like, would I have maybe enjoyed doing 2014 WWE a little more? Yeah, probably. It's like Ciampa, he beat Gable in what might have been the best match of season 1, in my opinion. SummerSlam, he fought Kofi, and that was just to bring in the new title. Then he had Grand Metalik at Night of Champions. He had Nakamura again at Hell in a Cell. Ali at Survivor Series, Edge at TLC. He was in the Rumble. He was in the WWE title match at the Chamber, and then he lost to Gargano at Mania. So as much as I love Ciampa, I don't think he was the best Intercontinental Champion by a long shot. And it's like, I hate to say it, I love Tommaso Ciampa. He's one of my favorites that I've booked in LS11. Like, he's probably the best homegrown LS11 star, I would say. And by that, when I say when I say Seth or Ciampa is a homegrown LS11 star, I mean he's someone that wasn't a main eventer that we made into one. And I think he's the best example of that. But I also think it's weirdly he's always been a better chaser than a champion. I think his world heavyweight title in season 2 was his best one. All right, I was wrong. Jay is next. And it looks like Priest and Drew are gonna argue over who comes out next. Yeah, I mean, Seth has already had such a memorable run as champion. The way he won it is already memorable. He's the last guy to have pinned Gunther. Busted Gunther open, turned it into a bloody pulp with that stomp. So I hasn't even gone back to Old Reliable and Ciampa yet for a title. It's like, we've thought about it in certain cases, but it just hasn't fit at the moment. Like, his last singles title run was the the U.S. title back in season 3, and that was just simply so he could be the first Grand Slam champion. And he still is the only Grand Slam champion so far that we've seen, because, like, we've had a few people get close, like Gargano and Rude are both close, but Rude's retired. That's not to say that we'll never see a pay-per-view from, like, 2016 to 2018 where he might have won the U.S. title. But he's still retired now, so. But, like, Cena doesn't have a tag title reign. Rollins doesn't have the U.S. title. But yeah, no, I think Seth Rollins is the best IC champion we've had as well, because, like, the way he won it was memorable. He's had incredible defenses. Like, I can't remember every defense, but he's had, like, the weekly defenses. He had the 4-way at WrestleMania, the match with Waller at Elimination Chamber, the match with Ford at Backlash, and then what was after Backlash? Was that Night of Champions? The match with Dragunov at Night of Champions, the match with Lexis King this past month. Will we ever see Prime TNA? Probably. TNA is something I want to go back and do some throwback pay-per-views for as well. I want to do, like, retro pay-per-views from other companies too. I don't want to just do WWE. And that's a nice thing about doing just the one-offs as well, is we're not locked into, you know, months and months of doing the same show. It's like, I can do TNA 2008, and then I can do WWE 2016, and then we could do WCW 1994, or whatever year they were around. They weren't around in 94. WCW 1997, there we go. I know Ray wants to do something from, like, old school, like, non-WWF stuff from the 80s. WCW, yeah, exactly. Old Ring of Honor, old TNA. Old New Japan is probably not something I intend to ever do. So you can add more to the Cody story. Yeah, exactly. Like, we've already seen Cody mix up with Drew, Roman, Seth, and several others that we've seen him do it with the modern series in just that one retro video. He was in there with Drew, Roman, and Seth. He's going to be in there with Drew again in a couple nights. Yeah, Priest is next. ECW, yeah, that's another good one. I know Ray wanted to do 2006 ECW, and I feel like I'm allowed to talk about stuff a little bit more now that we're not going to do a weekly retro series, but, like, 2006 ECW wasn't just going to be the ECW title when we did it. It was going to start with One Night Stand 2006. And we were going to see there was going to be the ECW World title, television title, and tag titles. I was going to get to build Umaga. The world title was going to be my kind of playground, and the television title was going to be Ray's. Ray's big project was going to be ECW television champion CM Punk, and my project was going to be Umaga with Taz as his manager, kind of a proto team Taz, and it would eventually end with Umaga beating Rob Van Dam for the ECW title. God. But yeah, so, like, you'll get to see some Cody stuff from like 2016 and 2018 and stuff. Like, you might get to see Cody at All In. Well, like, we might do All In 2018. We might do, you know, Cody's Ring of Honor title win and stuff. There's a lot we can do with these throwback shows, and it's like, we're not going to do them all the time. Hell, it's probably going to just be when there's a gap in the schedule and I have the time to do it. I like Priest solo heel run in LS11 leading to his match with Cena. Yeah, and it's like, Priest was supposed to become a tag team champion last season, and ultimately I'm kind of glad he didn't. If you don't know what happened, just you can figure it out with someone who went away after SummerSlam last season and never showed up again. It's not a real riddle who that is, bro. But I think Priest with Judgment Day has been a lot of fun as well. I really like Damian Priest, and it's a shame he's not gotten to do anything singles-wise yet. Had NXT continued in Season 3, he was going to be North American champion at one point. I know that much. Yeah, Priest is definitely someone we need to do more with in Universe. I'm a huge fan of him. I will say expect more things from him in the future. Um, Now that the rosters are spread a little more with NXT, definitely expect more from him. Like, you're going to notice a lot of people who have been missing are going to start popping up again. Like, Uncle Howdy and Wyatt Six finally returned this week after being, like, the Braun Strowman tease happened, like, a month ago, and they're back immediately, and they're going to be on the show every week again. It's like, let me look at the roster here. I believe probably Sammy's going to come out next. Yep, Sammy's next. So Cody and Drew are the last two. But yeah, like you look at the rosters. I've got it pulled up here. Like, you know, Gunther was off TV for months at a time, and now he's back. Kevin Owens is doing stuff. Bronson Reed's doing more. Cameron Grimes is going to be on the show more. Like, there are 21 singles guys on Raw now, as opposed to almost 40. There are 7 tag teams. There are 18 solo women and 5 women's tag teams on Raw. So it's a smaller roster. It's a smaller roster now, but it's also spread out a little better. Hold on, I've got to check something. But yeah, so like the roster's being spread out a little more is going to help because like I'm gonna do my best to make sure you don't get the same matches over and over. I'm gonna try and keep things fresh, but it's gonna feel like everyone's got room to breathe now, and NXT is gonna be a big help with that. And the goal with NXT is going to be one, most importantly, build the stars of the future, obviously, but two, excuse me, take people who currently aren't doing much, who need like a refresh, and give them that refresh. And I think you're gonna see that a lot. Like some of the people that have moved to the NXT roster, like Bayley, you're gonna see something brand new from Bayley you've never seen in LS11 soon. People who need more development, like you got like Damon Kemp, for example. He's supposed to debut a year and a half ago. He finally does, but then I sent him right to NXT. That's because I didn't. There's not enough plans for him on Raw and SmackDown. He needs more development time to be ready. Same with several others. I remember one live he said was supposed to be Cena and Cross. Yeah, that was supposed to be at WrestleMania Season 3, and ultimately it didn't happen. That ultimately didn't happen, and, I'm not going to say it never will. I'm not going to say it definitely will. That was supposed to be part of a 2-year event. That was going to be Cross destroyed Cena at Mania 3, Season 3, wins the world title in the middle of Season 4, Cena returns, wins the Rumble of Season 4, Cross and Cena face off at Mania Season 4, with Cena winning and getting title 17. But ultimately that changed when Cross got released, and then Cross was back by the end of the season, so we could have done it anyway, but it happens. It's like he was always supposed to lose his IC title the way he did, but I don't know, there was going to be more. It was going to be a Bray Wyatt feud. And then Bray got released too, so and then Bray ultimately came back too, so that unfortunately passed, of course, but Bray is someone that's gonna be fun to use in the retro series or in the retro shows. Like I'd like to show off what I would have done as his NXT title run that we've teased has happened. Swerve versus White is next week for the Continental Classic. Now I'm not saying they owe Ray royalties, but that match is going to be pretty good. I think Swerve should be AEW champion in the immediate future. All right, Drew's coming in just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I knew Drew was coming. Dom's been hiding in the cage. Oh, man. Oh! Good God, Drew. This final should be Swerve Danielson. I agree, and Swerve should win that. I feel like if we get a Jay and Drew like full, month or two long story out of this, that could be fun. Like Jay ultimately having to overcome Drew. Like if Drew's not going to re-sign and he's gone, have Jay beat Drew, maybe like eliminate him from the Rumble and stuff. And that I'm gonna sneeze real quick. Maybe I'm not. Like maybe I'm not gonna. Maybe Jay eliminates him from the Rumble and Drew is kind of Jay's final boss before he gets Gunther at WrestleMania. Is kind of my thought there. Of course, then again, Jay's probably gonna face his brother at WrestleMania. I have honestly more interest in watching the Usos do other stuff and do their own thing rather than have a match against each other at this point. Weird as that might sound. So I've been wearing that earbud for the 3 hours I've been live, so I had to take it out and readjust for a minute sometimes. Oh, Jay and Sammy with a 1D. And Cody coming momentarily. Yeah, Cody's out next, because then it's Dom and then it's Randy. I'll say good on the Usos for being individual characters. Imagine telling someone that in 2016. Imagine telling someone that in 2014, when they were kind of at their worst, I would say. Like 2014 for me is when the Usos were at their lowest. Like the face paint babyface Usos. 2016 Usos weren't great either by any means. Like they were fine. Like their 2016 run where they just they turned heel and then didn't do much else of note. And then they randomly won the titles from Alpha, American Alpha. Jay and Sammy being tag champions. I wouldn't want to see it because Jay's theme song is literally, it's just me, I'm on my own and all that. But it's just me, I'm in another tag team. I don't want that to happen. Like, I think him and Cody winning the tag titles was fine. But I'm glad they didn't hold them for long. It was just Cody doing a side quest on his way to finish the story, hopefully. For God's sake, can we just finish the story at WrestleMania 40? Please? No one cares about Hulk Hogan's 40-year-old record. It's not even a record. Roman Reigns is... Oh, Cody's got the Texas bull rope. Seth's got the other end. They're going to use it together, aren't they? A strap / bull rope match would be something that would be interesting to see them put into. Oh! Someone that could be fun for them to put in 2K, but you'd have to make a whole nother, gameplay style for it. Roman's only had 11 matches this year. This is something. That is a fact, isn't it? And a lot of those have been on house shows, right? Because, He fought KO at the Rumble, Sammy at the Chamber, Cody at Mania, Sammy and Kevin at Night of Champions, the Usos at Money in the Bank, Jay at SummerSlam, LA Knight at Super Showdown. Was that what it was? Was it Super Showdown? No, it was Crown Jewel. LA Knight at Crown Jewel. So we had 4 other matches. I know one was against Sammy on a house show. I think there were 2 against Kevin on a house show, and then there was another house show when it was a 6-man, right? I looked up his record recently. All right, here comes Dom. An I Quit match. That was 2020. There you had the I Quit match. Oh yeah, I quit for the game. That's what you meant. Yeah, Dom has been very fun to book in LS11 because he definitely feels like he's very similar to his real life character, but he's also different because he's part of Next Wave rather than Judgment Day. He's the leader of a group rather than the bitch boy of the group. 'Cause let's be real, that's what he is in Judgment Day, and it's hilarious. Kind of funny thing I saw was a post where it was like, it was the Judgment Day, and it was Rhea was labeled as mommy, Damian Priest was daddy, or no, it was Poppy. Finn was oldest child, Poppy's favorite. Dom was youngest child, mommy's favorite. JD McDon't Google Me was middle child, nobody's favorite. And that's the Judgment Day dynamic if I've ever seen it. But yeah, I do hope there's a 4-person Judgment Day entrance in 2K24 because I got ideas for a 4th person for the group, and it's not Dijak. Has been there, done that. Took him out of the group for a reason. We'll get to see Dijak in NXT in just a couple weeks, actually. Yeah, Judgment Day's got the advantage, but you can't tell, can you? Oh, now there's the numbers game. Now Judgment Day's going to take over. Come on, boys. You got like a minute and a half before Randy. I can also see Dijak's NXT champion, says Zach. Pierre says also he's not that much of a coward. He's got his boys to back him up. Yeah, exactly. Also, he's Mr. Money in the Bank, which is so fun. Like, I'm so glad nobody outright predicted it was going to happen because it was so funny to see people go, "Oh God," when it happened, because that was the exact reaction I wanted, was for people to have just an "Oh no" when they realized Dom was going to be world champion, very likely. Because no one has failed their cash in outside of 2013 Damian Sandow. Triple choke slam. That was pretty cool. Are we going to get a triple coup de grace? Oh, moonsault from McFuck himself. Coup de grace. Frog splash. Nice. Unless he blows it. Yeah, I mean, he very well could. Dom might be the first to fail. It's true. Dom could be the first to fail in LS11. You never know. I will say Chelsea Green was supposed to win the women's and failed to cash in that same night. But I decided that I didn't want to do 2 could possibly fail people in the same year. I didn't want to do 2 people that obviously would feel like they could fail, obviously. It's like, yeah, Blair could fail, but it doesn't feel as likely as like a Chelsea would. All right, is Randy gonna come out? They're doing the KO 2019. They're gonna act like he's not there. Oh, hi, Rhea. Wait, hold up. Wait, hold up. Hold up. Is Rhea gonna get hit with the RKO now? There he is! Randall Keith's back. There he is. We could still get the cash in. God, he looks great. He looks so much better without the dumbass goatee as well. Welcome back, Randall. God, it's so good to see him back, and I thought we'd never see him, honestly. I was so worried it was it for that was it for Randy. I'm so glad he's back. Looks great too. Oh, that's true. He is bald. That man is bald. Bald Menace Randy could be back. I really like the tension with Drew and Priest as well. I still think we could get the cash in once the cage is raised. Like Randy could just RKO Seth and walk away because, like, I mean, I don't like him. You never know. Is everyone about to do the vintage Randy? Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. That's really cool. Oh, Randall, what are you doing? Randall, what are you doing, man? Oh, yeah. That first RKO in a year and a half hit different. Oh, we're getting all the finishers. Team Babyface is winning it. Team Babyface is winning it. Oh, let it end with everyone beating the hell out of this loser. He's gonna try and get it forfeit. Oh, let them throw him right into it. Don't Ray and I have Randy's return booked already? I can neither confirm nor deny this. I will not say much on Mr. Randall Keith Orton because I want whatever happens with him to come out of nowhere, simply. Oh! Yeah, Priest is taking the pin. Nice. That was fun. That was a really fun match. It was a really fun match. It was a really good match. And Missile is destroying my bathroom as we speak, so she must know the stream is getting close to being over. We're just gonna go to black, nothing else. We're gonna end the show 10 minutes early. I'm all in. I'm all for it. We got Randall Keith back, which is very exciting. I like how they handled the Randy and Jay stuff as well. That RKO from the cage was really cool too. Also looks like Randy's kind of landing on his like. I'm not gonna to be blank with it. Randy's kind of landing on his ass more with the RKO now, which is probably good for his back. All right, we gonna go to black, or is Randy gonna Randy? All right, there's the copyright logo. All right, looks like that's gonna do it. All right, I'll let it truly fade to black and the press conference get started up. We will call it a night. Whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck? Phil? Everyone else is seeing this, right? What the fuck? He's he's actually you're seeing this. Like you got this is He just, it's a, the, huh? He's, I was, but he's, what? He just, uh, you get, he just, uh, um, yeah, it's just, I don't, I don't, I just, but he's that, okay, so, I just, before I, before I end the stream, I know it seems like I'm playing this up for a bit, but I, I had a drink, and sometimes my brain doesn't quite work. CM Punk just fucking returned, right? Like, I didn't just hallucinate that. Just, Phil just, uh, he just, they, they worked us. He's, yeah, that just actually happened. Oh, fuck. CM Punk's actually back? I, alright. Um, I'm gonna end the stream and text Ray, because we got some stuff to talk about. Um, I've been Xander, and what the fuck? I've been Xander, and